Yo guys, what's up? Tim Wolf here, and I'm back with some more YouTube. Uh-oh, not Mr. Swirl. I've seen that already, apparently. I don't know how I found that though. I think I watched Mr. Swirl on TikTok or something. I don't know. But I like streaming though. It's fun. Love streaming. It's awesome. Streaming is pretty good. With some more YouTube. Uh-oh, not Mr. Swirl. I've seen that already, apparently. Yo guys, what's up? Tim Wolf here, and I'm back with some more YouTube. Uh-oh, not Mr. Swirl. I've seen that already, apparently. I don't know how I found that though. I think I watched Mr. Swirl on TikTok or something. I don't know. But I like streaming though. It's fun. Love streaming. It's awesome. Streaming is pretty good. With some more. Alright guys, so in today's episode we are chilling. We are vibing. And yeah, so yeah, we're on TikTok, right? Or no, we're on YouTube, because I love YouTube. YouTube's my favorite. I don't know what this is though. I have like this little thing right here. As you guys can see, what the fuck is this? But as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of like things. I'm not a big fan of like I'm not a big fan of stuff, you know. I'm not a big fan of like Twitch. Twitch is like, I don't really, like it too much. It's not the best thing ever, you know what I'm saying? I wish it was good, but I have to log into I always have to log into stuff. I hate logging into things. It really pisses me the fuck off, and there's like some people and stuff, you know. But yeah, like I said, I really like YouTube. Like YouTube's like the best. I just really don't like Twitch. Twitch is like not good. Not a big fan of Twitch, guys. I do wish I enjoyed it, but I just don't, because there's just nobody in Twitch, and you're just basically just streaming for no fucking reason. I don't feel happy doing it, so I feel happy building. Like a cool thing on here, so. And we got our little chat here, so we can say hi. But looks like my yeah, so that's pretty good. But yeah, so the chat's a bit different now. So yeah, for some reason the chat's black now. I don't know what the frick happened. So yeah, the chat's black now. I don't know what the frick happened. So you just have a black chat now, I guess. I don't know if it was always black. I don't really remember. I think I remember it being white, but for some reason it's black. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened. So that's okay. But yeah, like I said, I don't like Twitch. I thought I used to like Twitch, but I don't like Twitch, so. Why is that black bar there, though? What happened? You guys can still see the black bar? That's ridiculous. How come you guys can see this? I don't know, but yeah, no one's in the Twitch right now. No one's talking to me. Sad times. No one's talking to me in chat right now. Sucks. Top chat. Sucks. I hate how no one's in the chat right now. Live chat, all messages. Would like to see some messages, guys. Someone send me some messages, please. I would like to see some messages. And subscribe, donate to my channel, guys. Donate. I mean, we're almost at 100 subs, guys. We just gotta keep streaming. Endless streams, we might win. And someone send me some messages, please. I would like to see some messages. And subscribe, donate to my channel, guys. Donate. I mean, we're almost at 100 subs, guys. We just gotta keep streaming. Endless stream. Yeah, guys, anyways, so yeah, yeah, I'm just not happy at the moment. I got a bunch of weird stuff on my phone. But I was having fun today. Today was fun, but it's currently 2 in the morning right now, which is pretty cool, but you know, it's a bit late right now. It's a bit late, so I don't know. But yeah, this is the pretty cool thing, guys. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you guys can hear me pretty good, but it's just kind of stupid how I have like this pretty cool thing here. But yeah, so I want to play some video games, but no one's in the chat, so what's the point of playing games if there's no chat, you know? There's no reason, guys. Everything sucks. There's nobody here, guys. There's just no viewers or anything. I have 0 viewers on my channel, so what's the point of playing games if there's no chat, you know? There's no reason, guys. Everything sucks. Turn this down, guys. There's no reason, guys. Everything sucks. Turn this down. Alright, guys. So yeah, we got 93 subs, but I need more subs and I need more likes, and I need someone to be like, someone say hi, please. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Someone say hi, please. Come on, guys. Alright, let's go see if let's see if the cool guys is streaming. We got Glowist. We got Hardcore Mode. No, not this guy. We got Wimpress. I'm looking for like, you know, just a live streamer. His name was like Gaming Night or something, but he's gone now. Did I lose him? I don't see Gaming Night. Oh boy. Samurai Grubs? No, no. I don't want to be subscribed to that. What is that even? I don't know. I just want to be subscribed to like some like cool guy. Some cool guy like me, you know? How do I like search for like... Where's the Gaming Night? Ah, here he is. Night Gaming. Oh, he reached his sub goal. He reached his sub goal, guys. And he made a video 2 weeks ago. Awesome, dude. Dude, he freaking dominates, bro. He's dominating. Like, look at his streams. His streams are dominating. Hamster stream. Yeah, like, he's dominating his stream, bro. Let's go look at his dominating stream.
You know what?
What's he doing? What's he doing, guys? Dude, he's got 7 likes, and he's running on Windows 11, I think. That's pretty epic. Is he even streaming, though? They streamed 15 out of 15. How come, like, some of his streams kind of messed up?
Brother.
Oh, he said brother.
Please.
Dude, he has a different version of OBS. Like,
my brother, please. Okay, there we go.
Like, my OBS is different, guys, and he's like, 1 sec, guys. Yeah, my OBS is different for some reason. I have a different build or something. I gotta go check out his build, though. He uses, like, Opera GX or something, but he's a cool guy. I really like this guy. He's got way more subs than me, though. He's got, like...
That's crazy. How I thought Knight would be. How he thinks he is. How he is.
Look at this. He's on his Discord.com.
My brother in Christ.
Discord.com, guys. Pretty cool.
My brother in Christ, have you seen my mom? The odds of me being able to do that so casually is not happening, buddy.
Yeah, bro.
It's not happening.
This guy needs a new green screen.
I'd go full ass Astolfo if I could, chat. I would.
He needs a new green screen. You know what I need, though? So, like, this guy's, like, really cool, right? But, like, the thing with this guy, bro, is, like, what's cool with this guy? He's just a cool guy, man. He's a cool guy. But yeah, I really, really just want some chat. You know, I need some chat, bro. And, like, there's some fricked up shit I was doing earlier, but I can't show it on camera. But it was pretty epic. But I can't show it, guys. Sad. I'm sad because I can't show it, but yeah, this guy literally earned some subs today, so he actually earned like quite a bit of subs. So he got some subs.
I would. I really would.
Hold on, guys. Let's see his sub channel.
I would.
Yeah, see, look at his subs. Like, bro, he gained so many subs 3 days ago. Wait, he hasn't live streamed since 3 days ago? What's going on with this guy?
I really would.
What's he even doing? What's he saying?
It is it. This is it today, chat. Day 15 of 15.
Okay, I don't care, buddy.
You know what?
What, bro? What, bro? I gotta see this, bro. See, he needs to update his OBS. Like, look at, like, his OBS is not updated. Like, he has not updated his OBS. He's got image 7, image 5. What are all those? Look at that. He's got image 7, image 5. He's got a pretty epic webcam and stuff. Dude, he needs to update his freaking computer. He's got Epic Games. Like I said, I can't freaking play Epic Games because it's too laggy for my computer because I don't have an RTX 4050 or something, so that really
Brother.
sucks.
Brother, please.
What's he gonna do? Day streamed. Pretty awesome.
Like my brother, please. Okay, there we go.
Like my brother? What do you mean? Yeah, so fuck me. That's all I want to say is fuck me. Alright, let's see. Any streamers, guys? No? Okay, no one's on stream right now? Okay. Alright, guys. Guess no one wants to stream with me. Guess nobody wants to stream with me. Guess nobody wants to stream with me. Oh boy. But yeah, there is like a pretty awesome computer I really want to get. But sadly, no one wants to talk with me on here. So, you know, I could find someone to talk to on here, but like, you know, what's the point of finding someone? I just want to just gain an audience. So just come on, guys. Oh boy. But yeah, there is like a pretty awesome computer I really want to get. But sadly, no one wants to talk with me on here. So, you know, I could find someone to talk to on here, but like, you know, what's the point of finding someone? I just want to just gain an audience. So just come on, guys. Oh boy. But yeah, there is like a... Alright, guys, let's just wait for Gamerman Tim to commence. I don't know what to really live stream about, but I like to live stream shit. Like, I love the idea of live streaming. I think it's pretty epic and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm like just not happy right now. But I would be happy, but my computer is gay. I have a gay computer. And that's too bad, you know? It's too bad. Alright, bro. So anyways, we should watch a show or something, because my girlfriend went to sleep. Both my girlfriends went to sleep, I think. I mean, I could call her right now, but she's like asleep right now. I don't want to do too much right now. I just want to just eat some stuff. The death bonk. Yeah, I like bonk. But yeah, my camera just ain't the best camera. I just kind of have a stupid camera, if you guys didn't know. And I don't have like my second scene that I could go towards, and it's like a full screen of me. Like, that'd be cool if I could do that, but let's talk about TikTok's minion gore trend. I don't know about that one. But yeah, I like to use Google Chrome, but everyone likes to use Opera GX or something. But I don't use Opera GX because I don't know. But look at this. Look at this. Fucking EA Playground NES game. That looked pretty epic. That is pretty epic. I made a song with first melody of Expurgation. I don't know what that is. Look at this woman. Holy fuck. Oh wait, they might be oh, I don't know their age, but yeah, I don't know. Who is this, by the way? Should we click on this? Maybe we should check this out, guys. See what this is. Okay, she's taken. Holy cow, though. She's looking crazy right now. Holy cow. Bruh. Look at this. Look what she's doing.
Alright, you ready to go?
Look at this woman. Holy cow. I love women. Oh, I love women.
We're going anywhere.
Look at that cool guy.
What?
Hold on.
What is that?
What, my shirt? Do you like it?
Can't watch it.
They've got to be screaming right now.
What? What are you talking about? You don't like my shirt?
No, I like it. It looks
I'll go
great.
change.
No, don't change. You'll be the safest person. You'll have
What do
2
you mean?
airbags in front of you at all times.
Hey!
Can you breathe?
Barely.
Why? Why is this shirt doing Hey!
Do you like it? It's a new trend.
It's not a trend. That's gotta hurt. Take these off. No, we're taking these off.
That's hot, bro. Dude, but I can't watch this too good. It keeps like glitching out. Welcome to the underground. Okay, let's just close that because my computer is being really gay. Why do I have this black box here still? I don't know. Welcome to the underground. How was the fall? If you wanna look around, give us a call. Hey bro. Alright, can we please get some live streams? Can we get someone to say hi? Come on guys. Can one person say hi to me? Come on. Trying to reach 100 subs, guys. And how am I supposed to get 100 subs if no one's saying hi to me? Come on. Like, I could get 100 subs if I promoted myself, but really don't want to have to promote myself, because then everyone I talk to would watch me, and I don't want them to do that. Whoa, what do you mean, why Skyrim? What do you mean? I want to see that. Building a skyblock? I mean, that's pretty cool. We're not building skyblock, though, so screw off.
Skyrim is one of the biggest games of all time.
Come on, guys. I want to see this. I want to see this cool
It has
video.
received high acclaim from reviewers and players alike.
Yeah, this is a cool video, guys. Why is my fucking computer being gay, though?
Been re-released so many times that I've lost count, and sold
Okay, let's just like plug it in at like 480.
over 60 million copies across all platforms. Not all sales data for games is exact or public, as it's on the publishers or devs to report it, but of all the information that's out there, this makes it the 8th best-selling game of all time.
It's a good
What's
game.
most impressive about that is that it's one of only 2 games in the top 10 that's single-player only.
Whoa.
Since its release, it has been a force to be reckoned with.
It's
and
a
has
great
changed
game.
the gaming landscape forever.
It's a great
Throughout
game.
the years, it's inspired countless artists, memers, video essayists, game developers,
It's a good
and
game.
of course modders, all of whom have kept the game alive in various ways.
It's a
And
good
to
game, bro.
this day, it still has a massive player base, averaging
Yeah.
around 20,000 concurrent players across its Steam versions alone.
Wow.
It is beloved in a way few games ever are.
a good
And
game.
I often find myself wondering why.
It's because it's a good game. It's a fucking awesome game. It's a fucking awesome game. I love it.
The answer I expect a lot of you will have to this question is simply that it's a great game.
Yeah.
And, okay, look, I'm not going to claim that everything about Skyrim is terrible. It's not. But there's a lot in it that's really not great.
No.
What makes this notable is that some of the stuff that I would say are the worst aspects of the game are also arguably some of the most important.
What's bad
For
about it?
instance, the combat. It is one of the main pillars of the title, and it's kind of a mess.
No.
Melee feels floaty and unresponsive, making it so landing a hit doesn't even feel satisfying. And as enemy AI is pretty bare bones,
You can fix
fights
that.
largely boil down to just spamming the attack button in the hopes you'll outdamage whatever you're going against. You may occasionally need to block or take a few steps back to avoid a hit, but even even then it still ends up being pretty mindless, and can be further trivialized by making or buying a lot of health potions. Magic also feels unsatisfying due to scaling issues, and can be incredibly frustrating because of how easy it is to accidentally do damage to allies or just any person hanging around. The latter can be especially annoying, as in some instances it leads to people attacking you. Like when I was doing the vampire quest near Morthal, I had Thonir join me, and whenever I would use Bane of the Undead, the area of effect would hit him too, giving me a bounty and causing him to go after me as if there wasn't a master vampire right in front of us. All in all, while your attacks may get stronger and your defense is more effective, you're never really challenged to engage with the combat any differently by the end than you are at the beginning, creating a flat experience. Another rough spot with the game can be seen with the role-playing itself. While you do have tons of choices in terms of what quests you engage with, more often than not, there aren't all that many interesting choices once you've started a quest line. And in the instances where you are given a choice, it often ends up lacking nuance and suitable options. One of the first quests players will likely come across is a prime example of this. Upon reaching Riverwood, you come across Sven and Feindal, two inhabitants of the village who are in love with the same woman, Camilla. Whichever one you talk to first will ask you to deliver a fake letter to Camilla filled with rude and heinous things, and then tell her it was sent from the other. From there, you can give her the letter and either lie or tell the truth about who wrote it, or you can show it to the suitor you haven't talked to yet, who will then give you a fake letter of his own to give to Camilla and also tell you to say it was from the other. Now, once you have both letters, you have to make a choice between who you want to sell out, Sven or Feindal, and this sucks. The quest makes it clear that both these guys are scumbags, but once you reach the point of figuring that out, there is no way to tell Camilla about it. So you either have to pick a side and let her continue to spend time with someone that's manipulating her, or you just do nothing, neither of which feels like a satisfying end if you are trying to play as a moral character. And these kinds of decisions are pretty commonplace. More often than not, you are extremely limited in the responses you can have to any given situation.
Well,
And
you
the
could get a
options you're
mod that
posed
has
with
that.
often don't account for information you've
I guess so.
uncovered, all of which makes it hard to develop any sort of personality for your character. Most of the time, you have to pick between two bad choices.
I love this
These
game.
two aspects of the game design feel especially noteworthy because
Shut up.
Skyrim is an action role-playing game, yet
No.
its action and role-playing are both fairly
It's a good
lackluster.
game.
I know some people will point out that Skyrim is a 13-year-old game, so it obviously is going to be rough around the edges in some
Yeah, I told
ways.
you
And
guys.
yeah, sure, that is true to a degree. But these specific issues don't really have much to do with limitations in tech or design knowledge. There are plenty of titles from that era that did these elements much better, and a bunch of
Okay,
them
which one?
were published by Bethesda. For example, Dishonored dropped just
Oh yeah,
just
that's
a
a good
year
one.
after Skyrim, and it provided exciting and satisfying first-person melee combat that allowed for tons of player expression due to its movement
That's actually a
options
good game
and
too.
Corvo's supernatural abilities. Even a few years before that, Dark Messiah of Might and Magic had an incredible combat system that rewarded creativity and observation of the environment, while also having solid and varied swordplay. As for the
Okay.
role-playing side of things, Fallout New Vegas released in 2010 and has long been praised as one of the most well-written, interesting, and robust role-playing experiences of all time. The
Okay.
point is, they had the ability to create deeper and more fulfilling combat and role-playing systems. They just chose not to. My list of issues with the game goes on and on,
still
ranging
good.
from the overly simplistic puzzles, to the level scaling, to the tedium of travel, to
Nah.
the annoying encumbrance system, and it all
What?
adds up to an experience that's easy to look back on as one undefined by missed opportunity. Now, despite all
Nah.
of my criticisms, Skyrim became Skyrim, a title that will forever be seen as one of the most important games ever,
It's my
that people
favorite
will
game.
keep coming back to regardless of how much time has passed. That means something more to those who love it than most games could ever dream of.
Great game.
It doesn't matter that I have issues with it because it's reached people in a way that few titles ever have or
Yeah.
will. And
It's a good
again,
game.
that brings me back to the question of why Skyrim? Despite how it may seem, I'm not trying to be a hater for the sake of being a hater. This isn't meant
Okay.
to be me arguing that game people love bad. I don't want to try to prove to you that Skyrim never should have reached the heights it did, or that you did.
Hold on, guys. I'm gonna go stream too, bro. Okay, stay safe, buddy. Crafting gameplay videos. Have a good time, bro. Have a good time streaming. I'm streaming too, guys. Maybe we should go look at your channel now. Let's go look at your channel, bro. Yeah, we're just watching like some cool video. You're not streaming, buddy. I'll subscribe to you though, cause you're a cool guy. Wait, didn't I watch you before? I think I've seen you before. Yeah, bro, I was watching you. Mind test gameplay. Yeah, I remember you, buddy. You're a cool guy. I'll sub to you. I'll sub to you. I got more views than you. I mean, I got more subs. I mean, you have more subs, but... Okay, never mind. I mean, you're a cool guy. You streaming? What are you watching? What are you playing? Oh, Fallout? And Half-Life, eh? I like those games too. They're good games. Alright, bro. No, thanks for saying hi, buddy. Yeah, I need more subscribers, though. It's sad. I don't know why I got so many subs. I got unsubscribed to everyone. But then if I unsubscribe to everyone, everyone will unsubscribe to me or something. No, thanks for saying hi, buddy. Yeah, I need more subscribers, though. It's sad. I don't know why I got so many subs. I got unsubscribed to everyone. Alright, who's watching this? Gamerman Tim to commence. I don't know what to really live stream about, but...
Right now.
What?
It has received high acclaim from reviewers and players alike.
Yeah, this is a cool video, guys. Why is my fucking computer being gay, though?
Been re-released so many times that I've lost count, and sold
Okay, let's just like plug it in at like 480.
over 60 million copies across all platforms. Not all sales data for games is exact or public, as it's on the publishers or devs to report it, but of all the information that's out there, this makes it the 8th best-selling game of all time.
It's a good game.
What's most impressive about that is that it's one of only 2 games in the top 10 that's single-player only.
Whoa.
Since its release, it has been a force to be reckoned with.
It's
and
a great
changed
game.
the gaming landscape forever.
It's a great
Throughout
game.
the years, it's inspired countless artists, memers, video essayists, game developers,
It's a good
and
game.
of course modders, all of whom have kept the game alive in various ways.
It's a
And
good
to
game, bro.
this day, it still has a massive player base, averaging
Yeah.
around 20,000 concurrent players across its Steam versions alone.
Wow.
It is beloved in a way few games ever are.
It's a good
And
game.
I often find myself wondering why.
It's because it's a good game. It's a fucking awesome game. It's a fucking awesome game. I love it.
The answer I expect a lot of you will have to this question is simply that it's a great game.
Yeah.
And, okay, look, I'm not going to claim that everything about Skyrim is terrible. It's not. But there's a lot in it that's really not great.
No.
What makes this notable?
It's a fucking awesome game. I love it.
The answer I expect a lot of you will have to this question is simply that it's a great game.
Yeah.
And
Sorry guys, my Wi-Fi is being gay. And my microphone. My microphone is being gay. And my fucking internet's being gay. So sorry about that guys, but you know, it's alright. I mean, it's all good, man. I gotta watch this though. I'm gonna watch it.
didn't even really like it actually. I just have long felt a disconnect with the game and genuinely want to understand how Skyrim, a title with so many shortcomings and aspects working against it, succeeded in spite of them. So for the past few months, I've immersed myself in all things to do with the game, reading interviews, researching the release, and replaying it. And I see things a lot clearer now. Of course, it's not the sort of thing that can be boiled down to a single answer. It's a confluence of factors, some circumstantial and some intentional that enabled Skyrim to become the behemoth it is. And I think it all begins with the audience Bethesda was aiming to capture. Most games out there have a wide range of types of fans, but I've noticed this is especially true with Skyrim. Obviously, there are plenty of longtime fantasy nerds who fell in love with it, as well as RPG lovers, but it also grabbed the attention of a much more casual audience. This is anecdotal, but over the years, I've had many conversations with people who lean on the normie side of the spectrum, where we get on the topic of video games, and I end up asking what their top 3 favorites are. And the majority of the time, their answers have been along the lines of Call of Duty, FIFA, and Skyrim. There are so many people who have played Skyrim that you wouldn't have expected to play Skyrim, that don't play anything else remotely similar to Skyrim. Yet, despite it being a single-player fantasy game, it appealed to these kinds of players anyway. One major reason for this had less to do with the game itself and more to do with the cultural landscape of 2011, primarily how fantasy was moving into the mainstream. Fantasy is an interesting genre in that it feels niche in a lot of ways, and for a while it was, but over the past 20 years or so, it has become no longer just for the nerds. One of the biggest contributors to this shift was the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which released in the early 2000s and achieved levels of success that no one could have ever expected, creating a demand for more stories that felt like it. This gave fantasy games a much larger target demographic to aim towards, helping many titles in that space become even more relevant. Now, the success of Lord of the Rings definitely helped Skyrim in some ways, but a different fantasy series played a much more impactful role in its success. That, of course, being Game of Thrones. The show premiered in April of 2011 and was an immediate success. There were nearly 10 million average viewers per episode, not including the many more people who pirated it, and that first season laid the foundation for the cultural phenomenon it would eventually become. Its grounded story, filled with multifaceted and relatable characters, helped give it a broad appeal even with all of its fantastical elements, getting even more people who had never been interested in the genre to not only watch the show, but to also buy the books. And once folks caught up to whatever was out at the time, many wanted to keep experiencing stuff like Game of Thrones. Just 7 months after the pilot aired, Skyrim released, a game that takes place in a snow-covered region largely inhabited by people who are seeking independence from the rulers to the south that heavily features a civil war and dragons. Obviously, the game wasn't inspired by the success of the show, as all of these aspects were developed long before it premiered, but some of them were definitely inspired by the books, with Todd Howard saying, "People in our studio liked it, and it seeped in a bit to what we were doing." What's more interesting is that apparently before Skyrim was in development, George R. R. Martin's team reached out to Bethesda to pitch a game set in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire, but Bethesda decided they'd rather make a game in their own world, which does make the similarities between the two feel a little funny in hindsight. To be clear, the two properties have tons of differences, and also a lot of the things they have in common are popular fantasy tropes and ideas from real-world histories and mythologies. So while some influence from A Song of Ice and Fire clearly exists, it'd be unfair to say Bethesda just copied George R. R. Martin's homework. Regardless, the parallels between the two created a synergy that benefited both properties. They acted as a sort of funnel to the other, and given that Game of Thrones was such a massive gateway into fantasy for so many new people, I think this was especially beneficial for Skyrim. Whenever someone, whether it be a longtime fantasy fan or a person newer to the genre, wanted to play or experience something that felt similar to Game of Thrones, Skyrim was the obvious choice, as no other game at the time came anywhere close to matching the show's scope and tone until The Witcher 3 came out in 2015. Skyrim was the closest thing there was to a Game of Thrones game, and that's kind of wild, as there actually was a Game of Thrones game, and it was something. While this synergy was largely coincidental, Bethesda did seemingly capitalize on it with their marketing, most notably with the live-action trailer that came out a few weeks before the game did. It is very Game of Thrones coded. Honestly, it could have easily been mistaken for a Season 2 teaser trailer. When asked about the similarities, Pete Hines, Bethesda's former VP of Marketing and Communications, said, "If people say that looks like Game of Thrones, we're in the right place in terms of mood and vibe and tone. If that's the impression we're leaving, that's a good thing, as opposed to this must be for some new video game." By airing a trailer that evoked a similar feel to the show, it signaled to anyone who had watched Game of Thrones, if you like that kind of storytelling, you'll like this as well. Now, Skyrim's success with more casual gamers can't solely be attributed to the Game of Thrones effect. It certainly helped, as fantasy had never been more in demand than it was during the show's run, but there's way more to it than that. Not to mention, Bethesda wasn't just looking to bring in fans of Game of Thrones, they wanted to go well beyond. And in their effort to do that, they ran one of the most effective marketing campaigns of all time. Even with the popularity of the genre growing, Bethesda still faced the challenge of figuring out how to market a high fantasy game to a mainstream audience. In a talk that a few members of Skyrim's marketing team gave at the Game Marketing Summit in 2012, they discussed how they didn't want to apologize for what the game was, but did want to find a way to present it that felt more approachable. To do this, instead of featuring the wide range of mechanics in the game, they leaned more into Skyrim's cinematic elements. This is evident with the live action trailer, but it also can be seen with the game's official trailer. There's narration about a coming threat, cuts between an intricately carved wall that seemingly contains some sort of prophecy, a person running, and something that seems to be chasing them, and it culminates with a confrontation between a dragon and the game's hero. It then pulls out and shows off many of the locations across the world, as well as the various ways you can fight against the threats you'll face. After an action-packed montage, it cuts back to the hero who defeats the dragon and absorbs its power, an experience you'd expect to be exceedingly rare, but then the camera pushes out again, showing a stunning landscape with another dragon casually perched on some old ruins. Not only does this provide viewers with an easy little story to follow and be intrigued by, but it also shows off how much bigger the world is than this single moment. It promises a game with countless epic encounters, with a new dragon around every corner, an experience that is bigger than you can imagine. The cinematic approach allowed them to portray the fantastical elements of the world in-game in a way that didn't feel like nerd shit. But for the nerds watching, they could easily see all of the nerd shit within it, making it effective for both audiences. One issue with presenting a limited view of a game in this way is that buyers may feel lied to when they get their hands on it and it doesn't end up playing anything like they thought it would. But Skyrim largely avoided this. Where a lot of cinematic trailers at the time didn't really resemble the gameplay or even visuals of the title in the slightest, Skyrim's was made in-engine, so what people saw largely was what they ended up getting. Also, even though the majority of the game is filled with slower moments, there are still plenty of these epic encounters, and as so many of them are unscripted, they're always exciting to come across. Furthermore, these slow moments that the game is kind of defined by help accentuate the ones that aren't. The downtime is a necessary part of making them feel special, it just doesn't make for the best advertising. The trailer presents a version of Skyrim many players might think they want, one filled with constant action and adventure, and then the game provided them with one that most would actually want, one still with tons of action and adventure, but also enough time to breathe in between so it never becomes exhausting. This same philosophy was also utilized by the marketing team in regards to how they rolled out information. Instead of constantly promoting the game, they valued restraint, aiming to keep information low in the hopes that, in the words of Aaron Losey, Bethesda's current VP of Global Marketing and Communications, they would keep people hungry for more content. The campaign started on December 11th, 2010 with the announcement trailer, and was followed by the official trailer a few months later. But after that, they scaled back a fair bit to not oversaturate their messaging. They showed off a few demos at events, but for a good while, there wasn't a ton of information about the game beyond the main trailers. This strategy offered tons of room for speculation and intrigue, causing a lot of conversations about the game to be fan-driven as opposed to marketing-driven. And it worked. People talked about it regularly and even started memeing about aspects of the game well before it released. This kind of strategy has become pretty popular with established studios, as once a series has found success, there will likely be a base of fans that can be relied on to generate hype for whatever is next. By not revealing too much, it allows players to imagine all the possibilities of how it might be to play and avoids running the risk of fans becoming worn out from hearing about it too much. This is what FromSoft and Bandai Namco did with Elden Ring, it's what Nintendo did with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and it's what Rockstar is currently doing with GTA 6. After the success of Oblivion as well as Fallout 3, Bethesda was more popular than ever, and so the anticipation for what they did next was high. By only giving sparse updates, they were able to stoke the anticipation, always leaving people wanting more, and then right before release ramped things up dramatically. It was in this final push that they released the live action trailer as well as a bunch of informational ones aimed at more dedicated fans, providing material for folks belonging to all the various demographics they were targeting, and during that span it was hard for Skyrim not to be on the brain. Along with their successful ads, they also threw a lot of stuff at the wall to see what might stir up conversation, the wildest of which being an offer they issued 9 months before the game came out, where anyone who had a kid on Skyrim's release date and named them Dovahkiin would get free Bethesda games for the rest of their life, which frankly was a bad deal then and is a worse deal now. But of course, someone did it. Bethesda's marketing campaign paid off massively, with Skyrim selling 10 million copies in its first month, surpassing Oblivion's lifetime sales. And the team racked up all sorts of marketing awards as well. It helped expose the game to a new audience and drew them in enough to actually buy it, while also still catering to their longtime fans. Now, no matter how timely or well marketed a title is, if the game itself is terrible, it will have a short lifespan. So based on what I said about its major mechanics before, you'd think Skyrim would have suffered that same fate, especially because those complaints aren't all that unique. People have been bringing them up since it came out, and I've even seen plenty of diehard fans admit that many of them are shortcomings. But despite that, Skyrim has never stopped thriving. People love playing it, even though it has problems. After starting a new playthrough of the game and approaching it with as open of a mind as possible, in my estimations at least, there are two main reasons for this. The first being that most of the ways in which Skyrim is quote-unquote bad were designed that way in order to be approachable to the wide audience they had just captured. There's this talk I think about a lot from Derek Yu, the designer of the Spelunky series, where he discusses the idea of spiky design versus soft design. Essentially, spiky design is stuff that causes friction for the player, that sometimes feels unintuitive, but gets them in a state of focus and at its best creates this sense that they are in a world that could exist without them. Where soft design is stuff that prioritizes player comfort, always aiming to avoid negative emotions in regards to interactivity so that players have a smooth experience. All games contain some amount of both types of design, but generally lean one way or the other. Skyrim has a ton of soft design. Many of its mechanics feel frictionless. That's not to say there are never obstacles that slow the player down or even halt their progress, but for the most part, all of its major systems are easy to engage with and can be engaged with regardless of the type of character you've made. So even though I find the combat to be shallow and boring, the fact that it isn't skill-based means pretty much any player can succeed in fights as long as they have potions on hand and keep upgrading their perks and gear. It's not the most engaging, but it also doesn't box many players out of progressing. With the role-playing, as many choices boil down to simple binaries with somewhat predictable outcomes, it lessens the risk of decision fatigue, and also players don't have to worry nearly as much on how a choice might impact them moving forward. In general, there isn't much the player can get locked out of based on their choices. With the exception of the Civil War questline, doing something for one faction won't stop you from doing something for another, so there rarely are meaningful consequences to actions, which is appealing to those who worry about missing things and messing up their game. Ultimately, a lot of design in Skyrim seems to be centered around the player always moving forward and progressing in one way or another. Like, this is why it has level scaling. It makes it so that in most cases, if the player finds a quest they want to do, they can do it right away. For those who just want to do the main quest, that's an option, and for those who want to do whatever random tasks they stumble across, that is too. And the softness of Skyrim doesn't stop there. It can be seen with the simplicity of the puzzles and the ability to engage with any skills and the leveling system in general. In a lot of ways, Skyrim doesn't want to get in the player's way. It wants to get them through the door in the hopes that they'll stay a while. And I think this was more than enough for a large portion of the player base, especially the more casual gamers Skyrim was able to bring in. A lot of them just wanted something mildly engaging that they could sink a lot of hours into over a long period of time, and Skyrim provided just that. It's a rare single-player game that can compete with multiplayer titles in terms of potential worthwhile playtime. I still believe that Skyrim would have been a much better game if its combat and role-playing asked for more from players, but I also think far more people would have bounced off of it if that were the case. With all that said, Skyrim's long-term appeal is deeper than it being designed in a way that is approachable to everyone. While it certainly leans pretty heavily on the side of soft design, it does have a fair bit of spiky design as well, a lot of which helps accentuate my favorite bits of the game. For instance, it does a lot of stuff that cultivates a powerful sense of place. Every object in the game is a physical thing that can be interacted with. They can be picked up and moved around, which doesn't really serve much of a purpose. Physical thing that can be interacted with. They can be picked up. Place. Every object in the game is a physical thing that can be interacted with. They can be picked up and moved around, which doesn't really serve much of a purpose, but the interactivity feels nice regardless. Presenting items in this way often makes it slower to collect them, as they aren't just bundled up in a glowing light that you know will be worthwhile to grab. Instead, you need to sift through things, picking them up one by one, which in some cases, like when there are a dozen gold pieces on a table, can feel excessive, but it also creates an almost tactile sense to the things you're engaging with. You have to spot what you might need and decide what's actually useful and and what will just waste space in your inventory. Honestly, the encumbrance system in general pushes you to always think about the items you're carrying. I do have issues with how it's incorporated, but at the very least it prompts some level of thoughtfulness about what you're grabbing. I think it could be argued that the game's reliance on menuing also adds to this feeling, as even with hotkeys there are so many items and abilities you'll likely cycle between that you'll never cover them all. So whether it be the favorites menu or the main menu, you'll be pausing the action regularly and scrolling through everything you have, as there is no real way to sort stuff to get to the things you want to use, in theory reminding you about all the other things you have at your disposal. While these breaks in action can be annoying, they also lead to some incredible moments where you notice something far more useful in your inventory than what you were looking for that helps you overcome a challenge. Furthermore, even though the game scales to your level, there are some enemies placed around the world with set levels and others who start at a much higher level than the Dragonborn before they start scaling. This leads to some big difficulty spikes where you need to figure out how to deal with an enemy that you don't have a good chance of defeating by typical means. On this playthrough, I was given a quest from the companions to take out some vampires, and it all felt like an appropriate challenge until just before the end, where a master vampire blocked my way. As I was far under his level and had no shot of out damaging him, I instead kited him over to a ledge, charmed him so he wouldn't be hostile, lined things up as best as I could, and then somewhat messily knocked him off. And it felt so good to do. Admittedly, more often than not, these spikes will probably push players to just run away, but they can also spur creative thinking, which makes them valuable. The dragon attacks are another example of this. When they pop up, your travels become far more treacherous, and it can lead to some interesting interactions, like when a blood dragon attacked me as I was running by a giant and the two of them started fighting, so I stood from a distance doing what I could to support my new giant friend. This all adds a layer of excitement to what can often be just a dull walk. Honestly, even the fact that the game doesn't have interesting movement mechanics means your focus will mostly be on just looking around, helping you get a better lay of the land and appreciate the beauty of the place you're in. I'm not saying all of these things are perfectly done. I'm not even saying that Bethesda incorporated every single one of them with this exact result in mind, but I do think their friction has an effect, and for the most part that effect makes players consider the space they are in and the various things that are in it in a way a lot of games don't. Skyrim's major mechanics are soft, making it massively approachable, but many of its minor ones are spiky, creating a thorough connection between the player and the world without running the risk of them getting stuck. This, mixed with Skyrim's massive scope, creates a unique kind of immersion, one that is more concerned with the small moments than the big ones, but as there are so many small moments to be had, it all adds up to something more substantial. There are so many interactions to experience. You can explore almost any place you see. You can grab a fish from a line. You can pick up a mug from a table. You can find ants crawling on tree stumps. You can drop something on the ground and it will still be there 20 hours later. There are roaring rivers, lush forests, and northern lights that paint the night sky. Characters go about their lives regardless of if you are there and have conversations with each other about insignificant things. And every moment is accompanied by impeccable sound design and an all-timer soundtrack. Frankly, a lot of this stuff doesn't really matter in terms of what could be considered the core of the game. They aren't part of the gameplay loop, and most don't even serve a functional purpose, but they are still there and can be encountered everywhere. Even though the combat and role-playing don't feel like they have much weight to them, the world itself does. It feels alive, and while the game does frequently show its seams and break the powerful sense of immersion it builds so well, it never takes long to slip back into it by coming across something new. In the documentary, You're Finally Awake, 9 developers recount the making of Skyrim, there's a quote from Dennis Mahiones, one of the game's character artists, that I keep coming back to, which is, "It's not that we did any one thing first or any one thing better, it's that we did it all for the first time." The thing is, it's not just that they did it all for the first time, it's also that no other game has really done it all again since, at least not to the same degree. And this is the other major reason I think Skyrim continues to be so popular to this day. No other game feels like it. Sure, plenty of open world titles have incorporated ideas from Skyrim, but the vast majority of them have taken far more influence from the likes of Assassin's Creed and Grand Theft Auto. Most are action focused, have third-person perspectives, and offer far less unnecessary interactivity. This makes leaner games that are often more fun to play on a moment-to-moment basis, but they lack the slow burn that makes Skyrim Skyrim. What I've come to realize through replaying Skyrim and talking to others about it is that for a lot of people, the reason they keep coming back isn't because they want to defeat Alduin or become the head of the Thieves Guild. It's not because they care about maxing out their armor or getting the most powerful spells. It's that they just want to recapture the wonder of being part of a fantastical world that feels realized in a unique way, that isn't always concerned with every aspect adding to the gameplay. They might want to experience this for just 1 hour, or they might want to for 100, but ultimately it is less about the experience of playing through the game than it is about playing in it. For these reasons and more, Skyrim has created a loyal following. By appealing to a massive audience but delivering an experience that feels deliberate in significant ways, they hooked millions of people. And many of those people are willing to buy multiple versions of the game so that they can keep stepping back into an experience only it really offers. Many also have the desire to regularly mod it in order to get a fresh experience of what they first fell in love with. Honestly, Skyrim is kind of the perfect game to be modded because it has so many systems with the potential of being far more interesting than they currently are. And Bethesda deserves a ton of credit for recognizing that their fans would want to mod the game and providing tools to help them do it more easily. Skyrim rides an interesting line of being for everyone and for no one. I can't say examining it in this way has made me fall in love with it. I do still find myself wishing it was a much better game, or at least more suited for my tastes. But also I think there is a ton of value in it being an entry point to video games, or at least to these kinds of video games for so many people. Skyrim came out at a perfect time to reach a new audience, and Bethesda did a stellar job in grasping that audience and designing a game that wouldn't push them away, while also putting in enough jagged edges to make things feel meaningful. The world is worth revisiting because in ways it feels like a real place. A place you'd be lucky to see with your own 2 eyes. A place that begs the question, why not Skyrim? If you also hate getting over encumbered, you should check out this video sponsor, Bellroy. Bellroy makes tons of awesome products that are focused on keeping you organized and looking stylish. I use Bellroy stuff all the time. The sling has become a part of my everyday carry, as well as this wallet, which somehow is able to hold all of my cards without being a bulky mess. For bigger trips, I have a backpack with more secret pockets than you can imagine, and a tech kit that is perfect for transporting small electronics like a Switch. In general, Bellroy provides functional yet sleek ways to carry your stuff, and they do a lot to minimize the environmental impacts of making physical things by using sustainable materials like Ecotan leather and recycled nylon. Bellroy has become my go-to place to buy stuff like this. I've shopped from them in the past and will again. So yeah, if you're like me and love quality bags and cool little accessories, click the link in the description to get 10% off anything at Bellroy.com. Whatever it is, I'd be willing to bet that it will help you in one way or another. So yeah, thanks to Bellroy for sponsoring this video. For all of you still here, hi. I'd like to thank my patrons for making this channel possible. It goes further than you know. I hope you all have a great day and or night, and I will see you in the next one.
I need some patrons, bro.
The Legend of Zelda is a series built on traditions. While each entry has introduced some unique aspect that makes it stand out from the rest, the franchise has long maintained a clear shared identity, one cultivated by the recurring themes, iconography, characters, locations, mechanics, and design philosophies that loosely make up what is referred to as the Zelda formula. That special mixture
Should I watch now? Want that one? Mudahar? I wanna watch like something. What do I wanna watch? What do I wanna watch, guys? I know what I wanna watch, but nothing is good on here. Let's go watch. Go watch something cooler, like we should watch like this or something. Whoa. Hold on. Let's watch this as well. No, let's watch it. Let's watch it. Alright, let's watch this too. If you're a guy, keep scrolling. Fuck off. Let's talk about jiggle physics. Holy shit. Fuck. Oh my goodness. This woman? That's a nice woman. That's a nice woman. I love women. My woman's nice too. I love women.
The spawn region of the...
But I mean, this guy's pretty cool. He makes like stuff. I might sub to this guy. Why not? Alright guys, so... I don't know what to do right now. I'm sad. What do I got? Anybody cool? Nah, got nothing cool. Got nothing cool right now. Everything is gay. Yeah. I love life. No, I don't. Because Beverly's gone. Beverly doesn't want to talk to me right now. Yeah. Beverly left me unopened. Beverly left me unopened. And same with Rye. She left me unopened too, but you know. It's okay. She's just a woman, I guess. And then a few girls are gay, you know. Alright guys, well, that's alright. Guess we're just stuck watching YouTube then. That's fine. I like 2B2T, it's pretty nice looking. Look at it, looks pretty cool.
oldest anarchy server in Minecraft. A man-made biome of destruction, griefing, death, and chaos. To a casual Minecraft player, 2B2T's spawn is both beautiful and terrifying. A jumbled mess of cobblestone, lava, water, and floating blocks with a bedrock death pit filled with withers and players ready to kill you. After the wars, the conflict, and the hundreds of thousands of players that have all graced this server at least once, it's hard to imagine that almost a decade ago, this wasteland looked like a normal Minecraft world. What did it look like? Well, today, we step back in time to take a look at what 2B2T's spawn looked like on day one, back in December of 2010. Today I'll be giving you a tour of the original spawn point, comparing it to the wasteland that we have today, and I'll tell you how you can explore the original spawn for yourself. Without further ado, let's take a step back in time.
I want to play some Skyrim soon.
So here we are, ready to recreate 2B2T's original spawn point. Now, if you want to try to make the spawn for yourself, what you need to do is you need to go back into Java Edition Beta 1.3. So you need to go to one of the older versions of Minecraft, Minecraft Beta 1.3, and once you're there, 2B2T seed is -41721449979022899642. Whew, that's a mouthful, isn't it? But anyway, once you've done that, you are going to recreate 2B2T's original spawn point, and that's what we're about to do right now. We're about to take a step back into the past to see just how different spawn was back on day one. Let's find out. I miss Minecraft loading this fast. Here we go.
I need a new computer.
Wow, okay. So it looks like this is the original spawn point of 2B2T. If you spawned into 2B2T, this is what it would have looked like in December of 2010. That's just crazy. Look at this. And all the pigs hopping around. Oh man, this reminds me of the good old days for sure. Oh, that's too funny. Let's see, can we still get coordinates? Yeah, so let's try to get to 0, 0. Where would 0, 0 be? I think it'd be over this way, right? Yeah. So this desert area, from what I've been told, this is sort of where modern day 0, 0 would kind of be. Like right over here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's like right here. This is 0, 0. And this little pool here. That's so we right now are in the heart of 2B2T like it was on the first day. So I want to take a look around the area because remember, 2B2T has switched biome types through the version, so modern day spawn is not this exact biome. It's not quite plains. It's, I don't know. I think it's desert technically. But yeah, look at all this. And from what I've read, spawn only lasted like this for like a couple hours before it started getting destroyed already. I think a week maximum was, you know, the longest it was before it started looking like a totally different place, like a wasteland. But man, just looking around, that's crazy. Yeah, I see nothing but pigs around. I'm gonna go to the top of this hill to get a better vantage point of the spawn region. I think, yeah, let's see. Video settings, yeah. Can we render distance? Can we get very far? No, far is the most we can go. Okay. Yeah, I want to get a bird's eye view as much as I can anyway. Let's get past here.
I mean, with some mods, you can see.
Man, you
farther.
can't. I forgot what beta was like. You can't sprint. There's no hunger. You know, a lot of people are nostalgic for the beta versions of Minecraft, but I think the game is just so much better now. Yeah, it's nostalgic, but it just feels so good. But wow, okay, so let's take a look. Look how normal everything looks. And to think that 10 years from now, this is going to be an absolute wasteland. That's crazy to think about. Wow. Yeah, it's just weird. Like that's the feeling I can describe right now, just looking around at everything. It's weird that this would eventually become the notorious Minecraft server.
Minecraft.
Server 2B2T.
I hate live
That
streaming.
just blows my mind. What? Get out of here! As I was saying, this is what 2B2T's spawn region looked like back in 2010, but now I want to fast forward to the future. What would happen if 2B2T spawn remained untouched and if we brought it into the modern version of Minecraft, which right now is 1.14.2 in the Java edition? If we bring 2B2T up to that version, what's it gonna look like? Is it gonna look just like this? I don't know. Everyone, take a nice long look at this shot right here because we are about to go to the future. Let's take a look. So here we are in Minecraft 1.14.2, the Village and Pillage update. As you can see, we need to convert the original world to the modern version. So, I know what I'm doing. Let's do it. It's gonna take a little while, I think, just because it's such an old world. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to skip ahead for you guys because this is gonna take a while. Holy cow. There we go. It's just about done. And here we go. So if 2B2T spawn had been untouched for the last almost 10 years, this is what it would look like. But it looks like the chunks are not fully loading. There we go. Alright, so in the modern version of Minecraft, this is what it looks like. I mean, I can't say I expect anything differently, but okay, right here we can see the discoloration. There have already been biome changes in this original spawn point. Because remember, this was originally plains and desert. But, as you can see here, the biome has completely changed. Wow, look at that. That's crazy. So yeah,
Not
as
even
of
a
right
1080.
now, even though we're in desert, Modern Day 2B2T says this is a snowy taiga.
You got a nice i7 though.
Yeah, it does not seem very snowy. I wonder, let's see. Alright, so let's really test this out. Weather, rain. Oh, would you look at that? Yep, so the modern day spawn point is indeed a snowy taiga, even though it was originally desert. That's good, that's good. And sure enough, here comes the classic 2B2T Swiss cheese of snow piles. Oh man, that's too good, look at that. It's gonna fill up quick. Man, it's kind of fun just messing around with like all the what ifs regarding 2B2T. What if the server was untouched for the last 10 years? What if Spawn was never destroyed? These are some fun hypotheticals to think about for sure. But yeah, I'd be curious if any of the fans watching right now would actually want to start a survival world with 2B2T Seed. Like I said, the fact that players even know the seed is both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it lets us kind of analyze the server a lot, you know, more easily, but it's also a curse because it makes finding bases very easy for anyone that's interested. So, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It's a blessing and a curse, but man, this is so cool. Yeah, it's like I'm on a little piece of 2B2T history right now. But this makes sense because at spawn there's plenty of snowy areas. It makes perfect sense. So I went into creative mode, and now that we are in creative mode, we have a bird's eye view of the spawn region. I want to venture out a little bit to see where the new chunks begin. So if we go out this way, yep, sure enough, here's the chunk borders. So as you can see, yes, it would be indeed a snowy taiga. That's interesting. Oh yeah, and we've got those huge intersections right here at the chunk borders. Very cool. Man. Yeah, it's crazy. This is just so crazy to see. That's it for the original spawn point of 2B2T. Now listen, Housemaster has broken his silence after a long time of not speaking directly to the community. He has come out about some changes he's planning to make to the server. So make sure you don't miss my next 2B2T video in the next 2 days. That'll explain a lot of what's been going on with him, with Etika, with everything. So make sure you don't miss out on it. But that's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Also, make sure to like the video and also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which are both down in the description below. Listen, I'm just going to tell you straight up, you do not want to miss the next 2B2T video. You got it? Alright, stay alive out there, Fit Fam. It's going to be good. The Minecraft highway you're looking at right now has been used by travelers for almost 10 years. On the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft, out of all 4 of the overworld highways, the Eastern Road is the most traveled. Due to its popularity, it has seen a level of destruction that the other highways haven't. The road is littered with ghost towns, destroyed settlements, massive lava casts, and other strange oddities. But how far does the road actually go? The Western Highway, which is the least traveled, stops at around 80,000 blocks overworld. I'm guessing this one goes a lot farther. So it's time for us to find out. Today we'll be traveling the entire Eastern Highway to take in the sights, uncover its secrets, and see where it actually ends. What will we find at the end of the road? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's do it. Here we are at the very beginning of the Eastern Highway. We're at spawn right next to the massive water cube. Now, the reason this highway is the most traveled is that historically, new players would use it to walk to the Valley of Wheat, which usually gave them enough food to survive the rest of their journey. When the valley was eventually griefed in 2016, the destruction continued along the Eastern Highway. Almost no settlements survived. So it's time for us to find out how far it actually goes and if there's any settlements still standing. But we're taking this trip alone. Let's get a move on. Look at these vines going all the way down to bedrock. Just another site of 2B2T spawn. I legitimately have no idea how long the road actually is. I'm assuming it goes to at least 100,000 blocks. But after that, I don't know. Oh, check that out. There's a horse down there. Oh, it's a skeleton horse too. That's really useful. Skeleton horses are highly valued on 2B2T because withers will not actually attack them due to their undead status. So let's go get this bad boy. I'm on an alt account right now, so I don't actually have any saddles, but that's alright because on 2B2T, no saddle, no problem. The entity control hack allows me to use the horse anyway. The only downside is that it makes the horse's movement kind of strange, but I can tolerate it for now, at least until we get far out from spawn, then we can go find a saddle. We've made it a few thousand blocks away, the horse is in one piece, so now the real journey begins, and thanks to entity speed, it'll go a little bit quicker than I originally anticipated. Whoa. Alright, crystal trap. These are common on the highways for people that accidentally leave their crystal aura on. We need to be careful. This highway checkpoint has definitely seen better days. It's covered in lava cast, but this is just a taste of the destruction we're going to see all along this highway. Let's keep moving. And would you take a look at this? This is the 10K milestone on the highway. Oh man, we gotta get a better look at this thing. If I'm remembering correctly, I believe this was built by a group called the Templars a few years ago, and it's still in great shape. Obsidian really can stand the test of time if done properly. Wow, this place is amazing. Now we've hit 10,000 blocks. Our next major milestone on the highway here is going to be at 13,000 blocks, which is the Valley of Wheat. Well, at least what's left of it anyway. And there she is, looking as lava casted as ever. Man, it seems like every time I come here, the lava cast gets bigger and bigger. But man, as we move along this terrain here, I'm noticing the horse is having trouble going up and down slopes, and it's kind of jerking around a little bit. So after we're done with the Valley of Wheat here, we definitely need to go get a saddle. But oh my god, look how massive it is. Whoa, check this out. Wait, there's actual wheat at the Valley of Wheat right now? Are you serious? The fact that someone's trying to recreate the valley using obsidian instead of sandstone, it's quite impressive and very noble, but foolish, I might add. But hey, on an Anarchy server, I'm sure they understand that if they build this, it's likely going to get griefed again. Take a look up there. Airships. There's a whole bunch of them up there. It looks like they were trying to put together a squadron for bombing the lava casts, but recently, the server's admin, Housemaster, patched TNT duplication, so they likely weren't able to finish the bombings in time. Wow, but they're up there ready to move. Whoever put these signs up has no idea this is actually the valley. They think it's just a massive lava cast. I guess it shows why documenting the server's history is so important, because without it, many of these builds and structures would be lost to time. Just a couple of gravestones, that's not a bad sign or anything, right? I think we'll be okay. Oh wait, it says you. Hopefully that's not us that ends up in that grave, but I think we'll be alright. But why do I get the feeling that the highway is just gonna get weirder and weirder from here? I just have a feeling, you know?
Yo, God!
But, my horse. It's having trouble getting up these steps. I think it's time for me to go find a saddle real quick. I had to travel about 5,000 blocks off the highway to find this dungeon, but now we're in business. There we go, with the saddle, with entity speed hacks and entity Jesus hacks. It's controlling like a dream right now. The rest of the journey is going to be so much more pleasant. I'm sure this used to be a base at one point, but by now I think you've realized it's a bad idea to build on the Axis Highway. I mean, everything we've seen so far has been griefed. I have yet to see a settlement that is actually still standing. That goes to show you just how frequently griefers are patrolling this road. I'm sorry, there's a massive unlit portal here. I had to stop just to light it. I've got to do this. I mean, there's a lot of people that have been here. I'm sure it was lit at one point. So, let's do the honors again. Oh, big portal. The 20,000 block milestone with a stained glass tower and Swiss cheese obsidian. I can't believe how much we've already seen, and we're only 20k out. That's wild. Another ghost town. You know, every time I see one like this, I always wonder who were the residents. Where are they now in life? Like, do they even play Minecraft anymore? I always have these thoughts when I'm exploring on 2B. Oh, we've got some chests up here. Oh, look at this. It's an actual settlement, the Slushy Shack. That's an interesting name. But hey, this is the first intact settlement we've seen. And look at all the travelers that have come through here, all the signs. This is great. I mean, there's no items left, but hey, what can you do? Wow, I'm just glad we found something that's intact so far. Now, we should probably leave an item since it says take an item and there's nothing left. We'll give them some iron ingots, probably some zombie flesh just as a little bit of food. Do I want to give a totem? Nah, they should be fine without it. Yeah, I changed my mind. Let's give them a totem. You know what? Let's share the wealth, right? Let's give them one. So good luck to whoever finds that, but wow, this is pretty awesome. I've been noticing all the signs are dated 2020, which means someone went up and down the highways destroying all the previous signs. But hey, even with a lack of signs, new ones seem to pop up instantly. You know, that's human nature, I guess, is just to mark that you've been here. I have no idea what this could have been at one point, but I mean, that's kind of the fun part of these journeys is as we pass these griefs, we can try and figure out what they used to be at one point. I mean, was this a fortress, a farm? Who knows? There's a pathway leading over here. Oh, crafting tape. Oh, you know what? Look, it's the Valley of Crafting Tables. For those of you that remember, a few months ago, I covered that there was a crafting table cult on 2B2T, and this is the valley that they built, but it has gotten significantly destroyed since then. Holy cow. I completely forgot this was on the Eastern Highway. Well, hey, I guess that once again shows you that everything on this highway gets griefed. I hope you're enjoying the journey so far. We've been seeing some cool stuff, but if you are, have you considered subscribing to the channel? Most of my viewers aren't actually subbed, but hey, no pressure. We have a long ways to go yet. Now that is a big log. I mean, it used to be a log, but now it's burnt down. I don't know if that was lightning or arson, but hey, what's the difference, right? There's a temple up here which looks like it's been griefed a little bit, but it's mostly intact still. Pretty much every monument on this highway has a different building style, so it's pretty cool. Don't mind me, I'm just clearing out the highway from this evil dead here, but fighting on horseback with entity speed's a bit wonky sometimes. Look at this. There we go. The farm here's been pillaged, but the bridge is still intact, so they must appreciate art but not appreciate food. Look, another gravestone. You know, I always get a kick out of little gags like this all along the highway. It's pretty funny. I mean, who knows if someone actually died here or not, but it's fun to speculate. I'm sure this one's just a joke, though. But then again, you never know. We are rapidly approaching the 50K milestone on the highway. We're about 5,000 blocks away, but it's crazy to me just how much has been under 50K so far, and we have no idea how far the road is actually going to go. I mean, if this is the most traveled highway, we could be going well over 100,000 blocks, maybe even 200. We're about 500 blocks away from the milestone, and in true milestone fashion, the roads around it are significantly destroyed. I mean, this is just a dirt path with cobblestone. And there it is, the 50K milestone, or I should say the ruins of the 50K milestone. But man, let's take a look in free cam. This highway is so griefed that it feels like we haven't even truly left spawn yet. Like every couple of hundred blocks there's some big lava cast or some ruins. Like it's actually crazy. It's like we can never escape. But I need to see how far this road goes. The highway just took us under a mountain, so I'm curious what's going to be on the top of this thing once we get out. Looks like another ghost town. While the town is griefed, it's not as severely griefed as some of the things we've already seen on the highway, which is a good sign. Looks like there's a cabin up there. Oh no, 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 don't drown, don't drown, no, no, let's get him out, get him out, get him out, come on. No, do not drown, do not drown. That was too close. Are you all right there? Oof, took a lot of damage there, yikes. Only 2.5 hearts left basically. You know, we should probably take it easy for now and let the horse rest until it recovers a little bit. Another settlement out here that's not entirely griefed. It's recognizable actually, so we are getting out far enough where these things are still intact. And wait, what's this up here? Oh, I bet you this is a mob farm, an XP grinder. Let me look underground, I guarantee you. Yep, sure enough, but the spawner's already gone. Oh, and there's even like an underground base right next to it. Man, yeah, everything's intact. 69K, nice. Ooh, hold up. A cat? Corvobus. Hey, you left your cat here. What kind of person leaves their pet cat on the highway? That is animal abuse. You know, I'm going to post on my twitter.com, PETA, get on this case immediately. Corvobis, are you even online right now? No. Wow. Well, why would you leave the cat here, man? Are you kidding me? Another cat? It's like I have to avoid it just so I don't knock it into the water on accident. Corvobis, you need to get locked up. This is the third cat. This is absurd. I've played on this server for 7 years, but these cats being abandoned is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Oh, take a look at that. There's like a cobblestone mansion up there. Let's take a closer look. Here's the entrance. It says High Ground Keep, established February of 2015. Well, and I mean, I guess it checks out because these are all really old looking blocks. I believe it. Wow, and there's even a melon farm still in here. So it's crazy. So there is something on the highway that has still survived. There's even this house nearby it, but it's been griefed quite a bit. I'm going to try to verify to see if this mansion here is actually from 2015, because if it is, that's remarkable that it survived this close to the highway. Chunk borders like this one are becoming more common as we get closer to the 100K milestone. We're only a few thousand blocks away. That looks like it right up there. Oh, that is a big lava cast. Let's see if we can get a better look from the inside. Yup, can confirm. It is a very big lava cast, but for real, it seems like griefers love targeting these milestones. I mean, they're public places, easy to access. I guess it makes sense, but hey, you hate to see it. From here on out, we are headed into unknown territory. The highway has not actually been mapped this far out, so there's no telling how far it's going to go from here, but hey, that's why we made this journey, to find out. Ah yes, here's a 2B2T oddity. A lot of the Guardian temples on 2B have all elders and no other guardians. You know, it just goes to show you how 2B2T's world file has become so corrupted over the years. I got mining fatigue, great. Well, I'm not planning to break any blocks soon, so we should be alright. That Wither is not a fan of those squids, look at that. Well, don't mind us, we were just leaving. The 120,000 milestone right here. There's some massive cobble towers, and there's even some crops down there. But as to be expected, it's griefed. Check that out. It's a chunk error right next to the highway, and it's just one chunk and that's it. It's pretty crazy. We have reached 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's a base in the water down there, so we're going to go investigate. And another chunk error over there. The terrain out here is absolutely wild. The fact that they're using jack-o'-lanterns as their light sources for this entrance tells me this base must be pretty old. Alright, here we go. What are we gonna find down here? Alright, let's see. There's a bunch of stone slabs on the ground here. Oh, here's some signs. 2017, so people were here as early as 2017, but how old is the actual base? I don't know. Let's see, here's the main section of it. Wow, there's still melons down here, but it looks like some of the blocks have been griefed, so it's not entirely intact. And a lot of 2020 signs still, so it's had visitors recently. But man, what a piece of history to find on the highway all the way out here. That was a pretty cool sight to see. I'm glad we stopped, but now that my horse has reappeared, let's continue. Looks like there's a lost dog up here. It's owned by the Sphinx. We can see the mob owner's name due to our client, but what is it with people leaving pets on this highway? They probably realize how tough it is to keep a pet alive on a server like this, you know? More signs. Wait, the Sphinx, that's the guy that left the dog back there. He's working on the highway? That would explain why it's been going so far, but he's not online right now. I wish I could speak to him. We just reached 152,000 blocks away from 0-0, and even out here, the destruction continues. Man, to keep the highway going this far, that's dedication. More signs yet again. Let's check them out. Oh, okay, so I see the Sphinx and I see a player named Quack. It seems these two players specifically have been expanding the highway as we're going along because I keep seeing their signs. So they're the reason why we haven't reached the end of our journey yet. The 160K milestone is griefed with a giant lava cast, just like all the other big milestones. You know, I'm starting to sense a pattern here. Another sign from Quack. It looks like he was here only a month ago. So the fact that they were working on this part of the highway a month ago means we must be getting close to the end. How far could they have gone in just 30 days? Oh, would you look at that? We've got some company. Skeleton Horsemen. Well, there's only one thing for us to do. A little skeleton horse versus skeleton horse action. Yeah, you may have
Sup. Sup, sup, sup. Sup, 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 sup. Sup, 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 sup. Alright, guys. Alright. Yeah, guys, I have like a stupid thing, guys. I hate Minecraft. It sucks. Minecraft is gay. Minecraft's gay. Minecraft is gay. Minecraft's gay. Minecraft's gay. Alright, bro. Ew.
auto-firing bows, but
Ugh. Alright, bros. Tim Wolf, Tim Wolf. Tim. Timothy Wolf. What's up, guys? Tim Wolf here, and I'm sad. Cause some of my friends, they unadded me, and I was like kinda sad about it. I hate when I lose friends. They just wanted to unadd me for no fucking reason. Like, fucking stupid, dude. But it's alright though. I mean, I have other friends, but it's just fucking annoying how, like, some of the good friends just unadd. Like, what's the fucking point of unadding me? What the fuck is the end point? What is the point? Why was I saying unpoint? I don't know. Rise Hog? No. wait for mom to go away. Holy shit. My mom goes away right now. Go away. Oh, I hate my fucking microphone. I don't like women sometimes. They suck. I hate plosives. 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 The fuck is a plosive? 2B2T.
But I've got speed hacks and kill aura, so I think we know who's gonna win this one.
I have kill aura.
Clown down. Well, I guess that's 4 skeleton horses that are just chilling out here on the highway, so if any of you want them, they're at 170K on the X highway. Yeah, come on, make the trip. You know, that's a short distance, right? Here's the actual milestone, and there's a more recent sign by the Sphinx, so we must be getting close. There's a sign here. Going to bed. Wait, 5K in one sitting? So this person was working on the highway. I don't see anything else beyond this point. Is this the actual end of the highway? Look, I don't see anything. I better scout ahead just to be sure this is actually the end. Would you look at that? We have actually reached the end of the journey. We have reached the end of the highway. There's no path left. No dirt paths, no shoveling, no anything. It's done. It's finally done. 185,000 blocks it's gone. That is a long road, especially in survival mode. That is, well, I guess it makes sense. I mean, the server's about to turn 10 years old. That's a lot of time to be making a road like this. 185,000 blocks. And the crazy part is, it's probably going to get longer from here. Only time will tell. But I need a break. I've been playing for hours now, and I think my horse needs a break too. If you enjoyed the video today, make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to follow me on my socials. But that's it for today, everyone. Take it easy, and make sure to stay alive out there, Fit Fam. How far does the Northern Highway on the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft actually go? It was started more than 10 years ago and has been traveled by hundreds of thousands of players over the years. The reason I ask is that it's different from the other roadways that we've explored in the past. While the server's western highway is the least traveled road and the eastern is the most traveled, the Northern Highway is rumored to be the longest out of all of them, which is why I'm so curious to see where it actually ends. The highway is also special to me, because it was one of the first roads I ever traveled on when I joined the server many years ago, so I finally decided to take the journey to the far north. Join me today as we explore the Northern Highway on 2B2T and encounter the ruins of the various towns, settlements, and works of art that litter this apocalyptic roadway. We'll also find clues left behind by the countless travelers that have walked this road in the past. Once we start getting pretty far out, I have no idea what to expect. Before we get started today, I'd like to thank Honey for sponsoring today's video. Online shopping is meant to be easy, so why is finding coupon codes that actually work so hard? With Honey, it doesn't have to be. Honey is the free online shopping tool that helps you find promo codes and applies them to your shopping cart automatically. When you're checking out on websites such as Target, Walmart, and other online retailers, a little box will drop down. Click Apply Coupons and it scans the internet for promo codes and boom, you just saved money. Online shopping is at record highs recently, so it's a great time to look for deals. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online. If you don't want to waste money, make sure to get Honey. It doesn't cost anything, finds coupons with a click, and also works with PayPal and Venmo. It's legit. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/fitmc. That's joinhoney.com/fitmc. Thanks again to Honey for sponsoring today's video. Here we are, about to start our long journey, but you might be wondering, why are we not on the actual highway right now? Well, we're very close to it, but I had to make a stop here first. Thousands of players have walked past these ruins having no idea that this is where my first house once stood. I built it 8 years ago, just off the North Highway. It was just a simple cobblestone castle, but it provided a small bit of comfort in this apocalyptic wasteland. Over the years, I've stopped by here from time to time, only to see it crumble more and more. I built it when I was 23 years old, and I'm 31 now. Nothing on this server lasts forever, but it's still wild to see the remnants of something I built almost a decade ago still here.
Wow.
It even looks like others have attempted to build nearby, but their creations have suffered the same fate. Despite this server being a toxic cesspool, moments like these are why TTT is such a special place to be. Enough nostalgia, it's time for us to hit the road and see how far the Northern Highway actually goes. It is the highway, got a full tank of gas, my horse has the golden trip. Let's see if the rumors are true about the Northern Highway being the longest. Now, we have to be extra careful because a lot of horses like this one make withers very aggressive, unlike skeleton horses which are only targeted due to their undead status. Coming up on the 7,000
Hey guys, what was that sound? Alright, let's go check what that sound was. I'm not sure what it was. Yeah, I might check out 2B2T because it's pretty cool. Alright, let's go check what that sound was.
Make the trip. Nothing on the where my first house once stood. I built it 8 years ago, just off the North Highway. It was just a simple cobblestone castle, but it provided a small bit of comfort in this apocalyptic wasteland. Over the years, I've stopped by here because anarchy. Moments like these are why, despite this server being a toxic cesspool, moments like these are why
The fuck?
moments like
What? Only that shit happens to me when I try to fucking screen record stuff. It goes like beep 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 beep. I don't know what does that. I have no idea, man. This is fucking retarded. Crazy stuff, eh? That sucks. Fuck, man. Hey guys, what is up? Tim Wolf here, and I'm sad because I have to deal with this fucking gay shit. I have to deal with a bunch of gay shit I don't want to deal with. I have to deal with, like, my microphone being stupid sometimes. But, you know, that's just how it goes, man. 5 hours ago, man. Got a little heart comment. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll just keep watching this then, but whatever. I don't know. My name is Timothy Wolf, and I'm here to say that I like to play Minecraft every single day. Sorry. Bum ba da ba bum ba da bum. Ba da dum ba da dum ba da bum. Ba da dum ba da dum ba da bum. Alright guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just chilling right now. Gonna play some Minecraft. I was gonna watch videos, but I don't know. Bum ba da dum ba da bum. Bum ba da bum ba da bum. I'm happy without working, guys. But yeah, I understand what people are saying. I don't even have money problems, and I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't really care if I have money problems. I mean, I kind of do care, but You know, what am I supposed to do about it, man? Go to work? What's the point of working? Well, if I could just get donations. Well, fact is I can't get donated. It's not working. It's not getting donated, so. Dum ba da dum ba da dum. I'm not getting donated. I'm not getting donated. I'm not getting donated. But I wish I was. Sad times. Just have $800. Just have a lot of money. Alright guys, time to watch some more content. Thanks for the comments, bro. Love your comment.
Coordinate exploits had explanations such as tracking Ender Pearl teleportations or triangulating a base by observing a pet teleporting. The reality was that while these methods were actual exploits, they were used as a cover for the no-com exploit, which was the true method all along. Having believable explanations for bases and stashes being found was crucial. In 2019, the nerds would start utilizing their exploit more and more. Their use of it would lead to the leaking or griefing of many prominent bases on the server, such as Space Valk 3, the Ice Dragon at Niflheim, the Great Tree, and many more. Sometimes they would just leak the coordinates outright and let aspiring griefers take care of the rest. The nerds began a campaign called Dipper Nation and used memes to troll the community about the true nature of the exploit. What's funny is that in their base leak screenshots, they did not actually visit those places in person. They were using remote viewing to see what the base looked like. They could doom entire builds without even lifting a finger. It seemed like the group was unstoppable. But in the later part of 2019, they would hit a major roadblock. BibleBot, one of the AFK accounts that had been used to obtain chunk information, was locked by Mojang due to suspicious activity involving the authentication servers. Around this time, Housemaster would also lower the server's packet limit by a substantial amount. This meant it was no longer possible to use the exploit by only having a single account logged in. Multiple AFK accounts would have to be used in order to maintain the rate at which data was pulled from the server. Lejerv would also have to retool his machine learning program to overcome these limits. After a few months of downtime, the exploit was back up and running more efficiently than ever. But realizing that more data limits could effectively shut them down, they decided that showing restraint in using the exploit was no longer an option. Of the group members, Ox22, Bubba J, and Lejerv were all members of a separate organization called the Spawn Masons, who had become well known on the server for many of their ambitious projects. The three began taking large amounts of stash coordinates from the NOCOM database and began providing them to the Masons with no questions asked. A subgroup of the Masons, led by a player named Dectonic, would scout out each stash for useful building blocks and decide whether to give it up to the group to steal or destroy it. Over the course of 2020, the group would steal from and then destroy hundreds of stashes around the server. They did this so that the group would have more resources at its disposal. In total, the Masons would acquire more than 200 million Minecraft items from these stashes. It was clear that anyone able to use the NOCOM exploit had a major advantage over everyone else. While the exploit was running flawlessly, and House was still unaware of the original vulnerability, someone began to notice that something was not right. A player named ZeroNeb realized that there were at least 4 accounts logged into the server 24/7. Being able to stay online without getting AFK kicked is very hard, so multiple accounts doing it instantly raised a red flag. ZeroNeb began to suspect that the accounts were being used for an exploit of some kind, and he started inquiring about it. His original messages to the nerds had been ignored, but upon mentioning the AFK accounts, he was surprised to see them respond. They dismissed his claim as paranoia and that he was being ridiculous. ZeroNeb would attempt to bring these findings to the attention of the greater community, but he was either ignored or laughed at. The nerds would actually program one of their AFK accounts to randomly message Neb with random strings of Morse code from time to time, fueling his paranoia to all-time highs. The nerds would spend the rest of 2020 trolling ZeroNeb, raiding stashes, and continuing to expand their database of locations. But in 2021, another group of 2B2T players would stumble upon the original paper vulnerability. Enter Steve 3, Mahan, and Redstoner, 3 associates of a group called the Infinity Incursion. They had developed a brute force version of the exploit, but far more primitive. At first, they used it to observe the highways, but after some optimizations, they were able to find base and stash coordinates just like the nerds could. But when it came to tracking players' real-time movements, they could only follow one person at a time, instead of the hundreds that the nerds could. Now, with the ability to only follow one person at a time, I want you to take a guess as to who they decided to track. To absolutely no one's surprise, it was me. In May of 2021, I was base hunting on my Sunday morning live streams. I'd been using an alt account and at the time had not logged into my main account Fit for quite a while. I'm usually pretty good at concealing my location, but somehow I was getting found every single week, which was highly unusual. While stream snipes have happened in the past, they're pretty uncommon occurrences and are usually complete accidents. But to keep getting found every single week, despite being hundreds of thousands of blocks away from spawn, I knew an exploit was being used. Sure enough, the stream snipers revealed that they had been tracking me using their exploit. They knew exactly where my account was at all times. I even caught one of them attempting to sell the coordinates of my logout spot for real-world money. At this point, I knew that my main account was not safe to log in with, which is why at the time of me making this video, I haven't logged into it for over 4 months. In early June, the exploit was starting to go public, with more groups starting to gain access to it. Throughout all of June and July, bases and stashes began to fall. The server was going into doomsday mode, with players afraid to even log in out of fear of their bases being blown up. But it was too late. 15,000 locations had already been compromised, regardless of who was online or not. It was during this chaos that I was finally shown the true power of the exploit. If you saw my previous video, you already know that 10 of us joined forces to grief a base belonging to a player named Beardler. After the grief took place, I actually received a message from Ox22. He had tracked my alt and the accounts of everyone else to the staging area a few days before the grief. Since Beardler had been tracked to that very same location months previously, they already knew why we were there. By using remote viewing, the nerds were able to see the TNT being placed on the actual builds. Without even speaking to any of them, they knew our plan. It was possible to use the exploit to predict events before they actually happened. I was stunned. I knew the exploit was powerful, but not that powerful. By this point, the community had reached the breaking point, with many emailing House to warn him about the original Paper MC vulnerability. The Masons knew that the exploit was going to end, so they went on one final killing spree, hunting every new player at spawn they could find. Finally, on July 15th, 2021, exactly 3 years after the original exploit was created, House implemented a range limit that effectively destroyed it. Accounts were no longer capable of being tracked, and the server would not give information about faraway chunks. But the damage had been done. The exploit had left a trail of destruction spanning multiple years across the entire server. Zero Neb, who had been written off as crazy, was actually right all along. He had warned the community, but no one had listened. The total amount of data that the nerds had collected on the entire server was well over 2 terabytes. The majority of the base and stash locations, over 15,000, were still located on their private server, just like during the 2016 backdoor drama. They were the ones pulling the strings from behind the scenes all along. They never truly quit. As someone who has played Minecraft for over 11 years, the fallout of this exploit has given me a unique perspective. The reason the title of this video is called The Fall of Minecraft's 2b2t is because the server that we've played on all these years, the one that was compromised by the nerds, has finally fallen. With the exploit patched, a new 2b2t can rise from the ashes. While the destruction on the server is going to get a lot worse before it gets better, we can now travel in peace, knowing we aren't being tracked by the all-seeing eye in the sky. Everything that happens here is driven by real players.
Yo. Thrawn Max? Yeah. You love it, man. It's Thrawn Max.
With real motives, for a group of notorious hackers to socially engineer a server admin to open up a vulnerability and using machine learning to create the most powerful exploit in Minecraft history is
scary.
not a story you can write. It's as real as it gets. And that is why there is no other place in Minecraft like 2b2t. We've always been playing a completely different game. The moral of today's story, no comment. The question now is what happens next? That was a long video, so if you enjoyed, you better be hitting that like and subscribe button. Also make sure to follow my socials, so take it easy, Fit Fam, and you can finally breathe easy. Anyone that's familiar with the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft knows exactly what the players here are capable of. When you have a server with no rules and is nearly a decade old, there's going to be some conflict.
Living darkness, pitch black starless, feel heartless, my mind darkens, mind purpose is to get my target, until I take off everybody on my list, but somehow this is like a circus, I'm planning all of your done at my service, please get ready for some disturbance, but this is what you get for your purchase, I am an ancient of the darkness, now there's nobody else, just us, do or die, it's real toughness. Feel the wrath of an outlaw, locked up as execution. The king's here to come here. Become the king of the kingdom over here. So we have you know it, how could you like it? This is the thing, this is the big thing.
The incursions. 7 of them have occurred since 2b2t began in 2010. Some were major success stories, others were total failures. What is an incursion? Well, think of it as a group of players coming together to take control of the server or to accomplish a goal. But it's a little more complicated than that. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you will completely understand. We'll discuss the history of each of the 7 incursions and also discuss what may happen in the future in regards to them. There's a lot to cover today, so let's get started. The incursions are split into 2 separate eras. 1 through 3 are considered the classic incursions. These incursions happened before the influence of YouTube on 2b2t, meaning that there is very little footage of these events, only screenshots. 4 through 7 are considered the modern incursions. These incursions were much larger in pretty much every regard, and were mostly the result of YouTube influence. Because of this, there are countless hours of footage from all of these conflicts. Each incursion taught the 2b2t community a lesson in one way or another, and all 7 lessons will be mentioned after their respective incursions. Starting with... Let me bring you back to the year 2013. There was a group of players on 2b2t from a base called Valkyria. These players decided one day that they wanted to travel to spawn in order to do something that an organized group had never done before. Take control of the wasteland at 0-0. A spawn invasion. The Valkyrians set up camp at 2K2K, the last remaining city from the Face Punch era, and used it as a base of operations in order to control Spawn. Being so close, the group was able to do regular patrols, killing any players that stood in their way, and befriending some of the more advanced players they encountered. Housemaster, the admin of 2B2T, had recently flattened Spawn in an attempt to eliminate lag, so the patrols had a very large area to work with. The Valkyrians called it the Spawn Invasion, and it lasted only a week. That's right, the term incursion had not been invented yet, as the term would be applied to this event retroactively at a later date. While the members of Valkyria had fun with their little invasion, they realized just how challenging a Spawn occupation actually was, and the leader of the group, Sato86, felt that the invasion wasn't exactly a success. It had failed to accomplish its goal. The first incursion may have been a failure, but it showed that players could band together on a server with no rules to try and accomplish something, if only they had greater numbers. But the lesson learned from the first incursion was that lacking objectives and goals would make players disorganized, and they would lose interest in a community event very quickly. A few months later, a post about 2B2T went viral on the Minecraft subreddit, and at the same time, an IGN video was released about 2B2T, which caused a new wave of players to join the server. At the time, it was considered enough new players for the members of Valkyria to once again call for a Spawn invasion. Remembering what they had learned from the previous invasion, they brought more members and had pre-planned goals. These included rebuilding spawn roads, protecting the NFE spawn base, protecting other structures such as spawn beacons, and of course, killing the invading new players. This Spawn invasion lasted 2 months, much longer than the original. Overall, this second Spawn invasion was considered a success, and the first true takeover of 2B2T's spawn region. The lesson learned from the second incursion was that having goals helped maintain player presence at spawn and kept them busy with their own tasks. It cemented the path for goal-driven incursions in the future. However, 2 months was too long for an incursion, and it led to the exhaustion of the players involved. It would be another 2 years before the community came together again for another incursion. In 2015, after the largest base on the server at the time, Asgard 2, was griefed, the community of nearly 30 players living together were upset and needed to take their anger out on something. Many of the base members were ex-members of Valkyria, and they decided that it was time for another incursion. The previous 2 spawn invasions were renamed to incursions, and the third incursion planning was well underway. But this time, things would change. The third incursion was different than the previous 2 for a few reasons. First, it was the first incursion to have a deadline. A deadline would ensure that the event did not go longer than 1 month, preventing player burnout. The first incursion to allow players from outside the Valkyrian Legion circle. Many of the members of Asgard 2 were strong fighters, builders, and thinkers. It made sense to have them involved. And it was the first incursion to have a community build project. It was decided that a community build project would help cement the incursion's takeover of Spawn and give the members something to protect. What was the build? Wrath Outpost, a giant base made entirely out of obsidian. It took a couple of weeks to be fully completed, but once it was finished, it was the largest spawn base ever built. Since withers were disabled on 2B2T during much of 2015, it was almost impossible to grief. Incursion members patrolled the base round the clock, and using spawn eggs, ghasts were spawned in as aerial support to attack invaders. Using Wrath as the spawn outpost, the incursion had total control of spawn. It was a complete success, and after 1 month, the incursion came to a close. The lesson learned was that by setting a deadline, it gave the people involved a sense of urgency, which made all members more productive. It also allowed newer members a way to prove themselves and be useful. I'll always have a soft spot for the 3rd Incursion since it was the first one I was part of. The end of the 3rd Incursion marked the end of an era. The classic incursions had come and gone. Nearly a year later, the YouTube invasion of 2B2T would begin, and with it, a new era of incursions.
Hey guys, what's up?
When the Camping Rusher made his now famous video about 2B2T, his fans flooded the server in magnitudes never before seen. His fans were called the Rushers and began rushing 2B2T. The old player base was completely outnumbered and had no choice but to either fight back or quit. The Rusher War was inevitable. I started the Team Veteran Initiative in order to rally some of the old players and also convert new players to our side, while Sato and the other old incursion members began organizing in case a new incursion had to be called. We tricked the incoming players into fighting each other under the guise of Team Veteran versus Team Rusher. While many of us were fighting on the front lines at spawn every day, it just wasn't enough. There were just too many new players. While we were able to dispose of most Diamond Rushers with relative ease, a group of new players began to rise to power seemingly out of nowhere. They called themselves the Resistance. They were a team of Rushers that were far more skilled in combat than any of the other new players. They had legitimate PvP background and fought in teams, outnumbering lone veterans they came across. They managed to defeat some of the old players by catching them off guard, including Burnsy and Sato. The new players were overwhelming, 2B2T culture was not being respected, and now, longtime players were being singled out and attacked. That was the final straw. The old community came together again, and the 4th Incursion truly began. For the first time, the Incursion was willing to take in new players if they had something useful to contribute or had certain skills, such as Basti VC's bomber airships or Sun Wukong's lag machines. By using social engineering, hacking, and brute force, all Resistance supply stashes were wiped out, and in July of 2016, late one summer evening, the Incursion banded together and carried out a raid on the Resistance's main base. The place was a crater by the time the Incursion had finished destroying everything. In the weeks leading up to my duel with the Camping Rusher, the 4th Incursion continued to fight at spawn, weakening the Resistance and continuing to kill Rushers. While this was happening though, a new form of combat was emerging: Crystal Combat. End crystal explosions were so powerful that they could kill any player with only 1 or 2 explosions, even with God Apples. This effectively turned traditional PvP battles into kamikaze runs. None of the sides were prepared for this kind of change in the combat meta, and the Incursion began having trouble maintaining control of spawn. A few days after I won my duel against the Camping Rusher, both sides of the conflict re-geared for one final confrontation at spawn. This would be the last true battle of the Rusher War. Corrupted Unicorn, the leader of the Resistance, unexpectedly switched sides before the battle and was ready to fight alongside the Incursion. Both sides met near spawn and began fighting. Some end crystals were used, but the majority of the combatants used traditional weapons. The battle lasted almost an entire hour and ended with Rusher and company fleeing the battle, but still surviving. This would go down as the last major battle in 2B2T history that still used traditional PvP weapons. Summer came to a close, and the war on 2B2T was finally over. The members of the 4th Incursion went their separate ways. The Incursion was a success, and the lesson learned was that adapting to server change was crucial for keeping a player movement alive, and allowing some new players to join the Incursions made them stronger and more diverse. Once the war ended, numerous groups and factions sprang up after both Team Veteran and Team Rusher had been dissolved. These groups attempted to gain as many members as possible, and began fighting for control of the 2B2T community. During this time of struggle, one of the most overpowered duplication exploits in 2B2T history became public. The server was falling even deeper into chaos. A player named Jared2013 attempted to use this chaos to his advantage. You're probably familiar with Jared if you've seen my video on how 2B2T almost died. Well, seemingly for no reason, Jared called for an incursion and started calling it the 5th incursion. At first, the community thought it was a joke, but he was serious. He had a goal of creating a large wall at spawn made entirely out of obsidian. Jared, however, ignored the lesson that had been learned during the 4th incursion and prevented all but his close friends from joining. This was a total disaster. It was a total bonehead move. There were not enough members of his incursion to actively build his wall, and many of the groups that were attempting to rise to power took the opportunity to destroy what was built of the wall for attention and for clout. One group in particular, Aurora, completely destroyed the 5th incursion wall single-handedly using withers. The incursion was a total disaster, and to this day is still considered a joke. The lesson learned was one person alone cannot create an incursion. It requires multiple community leaders, and compromises need to be made in order to have enough people to accomplish the goals. More than a year would pass without any sort of incursion or major YouTuber invasion. But on April 1st, 2018, popular YouTuber Ant Venom made a much anticipated video about 2B2T. Ant Venom had informed the community of his desire to make this video well before he actually released it, giving the community time to prepare for an invasion of Ant Venom fans, or Ants, as they were referred to. The major groups that had survived the chaos of post-war 2B2T were now established forces on the server. While not entirely hostile towards each other, they weren't exactly allies. But the Ant Venom invasion changed that. The leaders of each group and many of the established community members all agreed. It was time for an incursion. By numbers, this incursion would be the largest ever, with hundreds of players all taking part. Management was evenly split between different community members, ensuring that no single person could be calling all of the shots. The wall idea was brought back, except this time, Thebes and Sound, 2B2T's greatest civil engineer, was brought on board to be in charge of getting the wall built. The major groups taking part in the incursion all lended members to help with the wall. Other community leaders such as Henry and Hermetic Lock all kept the groups in check, making sure that nobody overstepped their boundaries. Jared was kept on a tight leash to make sure he didn't ruin this incursion. Despite coming under attack from several anti-incursion groups, the wall continued to be built, and after 1 month of the incursion, the Ant Venom fans were killed, the wall was successfully built and defended, and the 2B2T community was united. The 6th incursion is regarded by some as the greatest of all time in how it completed a large-scale project that was thought to be impossible, ended up creating alliances between the ruling groups and factions, and overall was fun. This incursion was a celebration of 2B2T, its culture and its players. Immediately following the incursion, there was relative peace on the server. But that wouldn't last long. Fast forward to the end of the summer of 2018, 2 years after the end of the Russia War. A large French YouTuber named Fuse3 decides to make a series on 2B2T. Instantly, the community sprang into action, but this time, there had been no preparation. There had been zero warning. Still fatigued from having just finished an incursion months before, the community began to debate what should be done in this new incursion. This time around, Jared desired a much greater role in the incursion, and so forced his way into one of the positions of leadership. Right off the bat, the incursion already had a few problems. First off, Fuse's fans mainly played on the server while the majority of the North American players were sleeping, meaning it was easier for them to escape spawn. There was no actual enemy to fight. Secondly, the anti-incursion groups, still upset that they had failed to stop the 6th incursion, felt reinvigorated and attempted to thwart the incursion even harder. And finally, Jared was still not satisfied with his position in the incursion. He wanted total control, but he needed a reason to take control. And so he came up with a plan. First, he would convince newer incursion recruits that he was the true leader of the incursion. Then, he began using his privileges to kick players that he knew would stand in his way. He removed them under the guise of kicked for inactivity. If he noticed a player had been logged off the server or Discord for over 12 hours, and they were somebody he didn't like, he kicked them. He kicked out many of the previous incursion members and even kicked out some of the 2B2T YouTubers, myself included, since we were all well aware of his previous failures. By that point, I had already secured a duel with Fuse, so being kicked out didn't really bother me much. But from here, Jared began fabricating evidence claiming the other leaders of the incursion were attempting to kick him and take control for themselves. He was trying to turn all the leaders against each other. But the leaders, well aware of Jared's previous failures and constant plotting, saw past the schemes. Instead of trying to salvage a dying incursion, the leaders decided to let Jared have his incursion, and all withdrew support. They knew full well that with Jared in charge, history would repeat itself. With no enemy to fight and a power-hungry leader, the incursion fell into disarray. There weren't enough players to complete any of the planned projects, and the progress that was being made was easily undone by the anti-incursion groups. Previous groups that left the incursion had now become its targets. By the time I fought Fuse in our duel, the 7th incursion had collapsed into itself. The community was left appalled and disappointed. For the first time ever, an incursion was defeated by a different group. Jared's 7th incursion became known as one of the most colossal failures in 2B2T history. It was such a disaster that Sato, the founder of incursions himself, said that the incursion name should be retired, that the name itself meant nothing anymore. The lesson learned here was that allowing unstable players into positions of leadership will weaken a group, no matter how many precautions are taken, and that an incursion will fail without true community support. That brings us to the future of incursions. These days, the community is weary about the name incursion. It's meaningless now. It's a joke. The 2B2T community has grown so large that server-wide events are constantly happening without even being named at all. When 2B2T fell into the YouTube algorithm's favor again last month and a new influx of players joined the server, 4 different Discords all popped up, all claiming to be the true 8th incursion. And of course, all of them run by new players who have never even been in an incursion before. Someone even started a 9th incursion as a meme. I think it's safe to say that the days of incursions are over. If the founder of Incursion says it's time to stop, maybe that's not such a bad idea. If the community ever comes back together for a common goal or cause again, it'll probably have some other name. That would be the smart thing to do. But what will that name be? Well, like anything on an Anarchy server, it's going to be hard to predict. Whew. That was a lot to cover in a short amount of time, and I did it all in one take. And I still barely scratched the surface of some of these events. But if you want to discover more of the decade-long history from the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to get updates on when new 2B2T videos are being released. The era of incursions seems to be coming to an end. What will happen next on 2B2T? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Take it easy, everyone, and stay alive out there. In the past 10 years of Minecraft's history, how did we go from this to this? The evolution of combat on the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft has been chronicled over the past decade and is some of the most fascinating digital history you can find. By putting players in a no-rules environment, you encourage them to seek every single advantage possible over an opponent. Today we take a look at the history behind 2b2t's PvP meta, how it has changed over the last 10 years, and how we went from sticks and stones to automated warfare. The road to get there was a wild and convoluted one. Today's video is very in-depth and is the result of months of research, speaking to longtime players and some of the best PvPers on the server today. By the end of this video, you're going to be an expert. I hope you're ready. But before we get started today, I'd like to thank Honey for sponsoring today's video. Online shopping is meant to be easy, so why is finding coupon codes that actually work so hard? With Honey, it doesn't have to be. Honey is the free online shopping tool that helps you find promo codes and applies them to your shopping cart automatically. When you're checking out on websites such as Target, Walmart, Etsy, etc., a little box will drop down. You click Apply Coupons and it will scan the internet for promo codes and boom, down goes the price. I personally use it when I'm buying protein powder off the internet since I buy in bulk. It really helps bring the price down. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online. By not having Honey, you're literally passing up free money. It doesn't cost anything, finds coupons with one click, and also works with PayPal and Venmo. It's legit. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/fitmc. That's joinhoney.com/fitmc. Thanks again to Honey for sponsoring today's video. In the early days of the server's lifespan, PvP, much like Minecraft itself, was simple. Enchanted items, potions, and the hunger system didn't exist yet. Food was used to heal hearts directly and didn't stack. Everybody carried 3 weapons on them at all times. The sword, which was used for melee combat using simple swings, the bow, which back in Alpha acted more like a machine gun than a bow and arrow, and the lava bucket, which could light people and blocks on fire. According to 2b2t legend XCC2, the lava bucket was the most effective of these 3 weapons on 2b2t, but using it came at a cost. If a player died in the lava, all the valuables they carried would be burned, and since repairing items had not been introduced into gameplay yet, every single piece of gear was useful, so losing it to lava was not ideal. But these 3 weapons were the primary killing methods from 2010 until late 2011. The meta didn't change until the Adventure update introduced 3 new mechanics to combat: sprinting, critical hits, and blocking. These additions gave players more options in combat and made fights more intense. When both brewing and enchanting were introduced, there was a mad rush to obtain the best possible enchantments, as having enchanted gear became the difference between winning and losing. Harming potions became very useful, and 2b2t players would eventually discover how to stack potions illegally. It was possible to throw harming potions at someone to kill them in seconds, but this exploit was eventually patched by the server's admin, Housemaster. Lava was not as effective as it used to be because of fire resistance potions, so going into 2012, swords, bows, and potions had become the meta. But the next 2 years on the server would be the first major paradigm shift in 2b2t's combat. 2012 was the first year where hack clients started to go public. While they were technically called cheat clients, they received the nickname of hacked clients by players that fell victim to them. These clients allowed players to perform actions that would otherwise be impossible, such as using X-ray to see everything underground, or tracers that showed where other players were. While Notice was not the first hack client to be used on 2b2t, it was one of the most common in the early days since it was available to the public. One of the most powerful hacks in Notice was Force Field, a very early version of what we now call Kill Aura. It was a hack that would automatically hit opponents with your sword, even if you were not aiming at them. It also gave the user an extra 1 block of reach that usually was impossible to replicate in vanilla. Since 2B2T was an Anarchy server, using these clients was completely okay, and anyone that used a hack client had an immediate advantage. It was not even close. As a vanilla player, it seemed hopeless to go up against a hacker, but not all hope was lost. Later in 2012, Minecraft updated to Java Edition 1.3. This update saw the introduction of enchanted golden apples, or God apples, one of the most powerful items in Minecraft even to this day. The extra health regen, resistance, extra hearts, and fire resistance meant 2B2T suddenly became a lot safer. Vanilla players finally had a defense against someone using a hack client. God apples were craftable if you had enough gold, which by this time, many of the players did. When it came to hacker versus hacker fights, Gapples turned what used to be quicker fights into slugfests that would sometimes last upwards of 20 to 30 minutes. It was common to see players start to bring additional armor sets with them to fights in order to survive longer than their opponent. Because while God apples almost made you invincible, they only did so if you had armor on. Additionally, in 2013, the minecart dupe was discovered on 2B2T and used to create thousands upon thousands of items for PvP use. It was the most powerful dupe the server had ever seen and encouraged more players to come to spawn to PvP. At this point, according to XCC2, PvP started to become boring. Fights were just lasting far too long to be enjoyable anymore, and because of the item dupe, there was no real risk or reward to PvPing. At this point, the PvP meta stagnated, and is what brings us into the next era. With the rise of hack clients on the server, it didn't take long for 2B2T players themselves to start creating their own. Players would often use them as a way to show loyalty. If you were loyal to Pyrobyte and the Valkyrians, you used Vapid, which was Pyrobyte's custom client and eventually continued by Kinorana. If you wanted to be like PopBob, you used NHack, which was a client created by PopBob and later continued by iTristan. As the clients updated, it became a race to see which one could outperform the others. Fights usually came down to inventory management, but if both opponents were equally geared, the better client would usually win. But this was not always the case. Even without the best hacks, it was still possible to win if you had actual PvP skill and strategy. The most famous example of this is the now legendary fight where Kingaros, the greatest traditional PvPer in 2B2T history, fought PopBob and iTristan at the same time and won. Kingaros' client was incredibly simple and did not have any advanced combat hacks. The reason he won was mainly because of his PvP knowledge and techniques. For example, block hitting, S-tapping, and W-tapping, common tactics used to combo opponents and manipulate your own hitbox, were human techniques that could not be replicated properly by a hack client at the time. Kingaros also allowed himself to take knockback during the fight. This is because Kingaros had discovered early on that using an anti-knockback hack actually degraded your own armor faster, something that the majority of the community would not discover until years later. Through sheer force of will, he managed to overcome the odds and win the fight against opponents with superior clients. But outcomes like this were not typical. While the race to create the best hack client was well underway, there was a secret development during this era that would have a major impact on the server in the future. Pyrobyte and iTristan managed to use their backdoor access to the server to create weapons with a sharpness value of 32,000, nicknamed the super weapons. They could kill opponents instantly with one hit. While the exact date of their creation is unknown, I personally remember seeing one with my own eyes as early as April of 2015. Because they were so rare, they had zero impact on the actual PvP meta. When Housemaster tried to eliminate them, a few of them survived in stashes that were sitting in unloaded chunks. Their rediscovery years later would have major ramifications. But in the spring of 2016, 2B2T updated to Java Edition 1.9, and the update that would forever remove swords as the primary weapon on Anarchy servers. While the new Minecraft update brought exciting features such as shields and elytra, it's also the update where end crystals became craftable. This powerful explosive did the same amount of damage as a charged creeper explosion and can be placed on both bedrock and obsidian. But for the first few months of the update on 2B2T, their power was relatively unknown. Melee combat was still dominant. While kill aura still functioned even while using shields, the added hit delay of melee weapons made fights even slower than they already were. It was around this time that the Rusher War began on 2B2T, where swords, axes, and bows were the primary weapons. This would be the last time traditional combat would see widespread use on the server. During this time, 2B2T player Bubba J began to experiment with end crystals. During the fourth incursion, he ignited one as a joke, and it ended up accidentally killing several of us at once with no warning. While it was hilarious at the time, this stunt caught on camera is what would begin the evolution of the crystal meta still seen to this day. Crystals could kill an opponent in full protection 4 armor in one hit if the difficulty was set to hard, which on 2B2T it always is. You could maybe survive 2 or 3 hits if you had gapples, but such a powerful item made traditional combat almost useless overnight. While they were incredibly powerful weapons, they were expensive to create, and beds in the Nether were a much cheaper alternative. Suicide bombing became an actual tactic. This explosive meta became widespread in the fall of 2016. Kingaros, in his final stint of time on 2B2T, is seen here bed bombing people in the Nether. You would act like an innocent new player, walk up to someone, and then kill them instantly. There was no real way to defend against this tactic, so most players preferred to PvP in the overworld, where you were less likely to be killed by one of these attacks. With the 1111 dupe in November of 2016, Crystal saw their first widespread duping, and it became common for players to carry around stacks of them in addition to obsidian. Actual crystal fights during this time often didn't last long, because there was no real way to defend against them. But in very late 2016, with the introduction of the exploration update to 2B2T, Totems of Undying were added, which allowed a user to be revived upon death. This acted as a safety net so that you could actually survive end crystal and bed explosions. This item single-handedly ended the suicide bomber meta, and many PvPers that had been afraid of going near spawn slowly began to return. From here, in early 2017, Auto Totem was developed into hack clients, which automatically put extra totems in your offhand when one was used up. From here, the crystal meta began evolving quite rapidly, such as Auto Crystal and Crystal Aura being developed, allowing the user to automatically place crystals and detonate them without even aiming. By this point, PvP on 2B2T and other Anarchy servers was so radically different from normal Minecraft PvP. It was almost like an entirely new game. But swords would make one final comeback in the most unexpected way possible. In the spring of 2017, a stash of super weapons that had been created by Pyrobyte and iTristan years earlier had been rediscovered, and the weapons were taken from them. It was during this time that I was given my very first set of duped super weapons from Alpha Computer, and we killed players at spawn using them for fun. One swing of the weapon instantly popped a user's totem, so using Kill Aura with a super weapon could kill opponents much faster than crystals. This didn't last long though, as Housemaster patched them so that if you tried to wield one, it would instantly revert to sharpness 5 instead of 32,000. We hid the remaining super weapons in shulkers and duped them over the course of the next year. We knew that if we kept them secret long enough, we would eventually discover a way to use them again. And sure enough, in 2018, it was discovered that by keeping them in a hopper, you could put one into your inventory using a hack client and walk around having it be fully usable, though the limitation was that you had to stay within about 30 blocks of the hopper. After this method was discovered, Alpha Computer began selling his surplus super weapons to people for real-world money and made quite a fortune by doing this. It didn't take long for these shulkers of super weapons to be duped and mass distributed to the public. This is the first time crystals had been challenged as the primary PvP method in almost 2 years, and their widespread distribution would once again evolve the combat meta, bringing us into the present era. By 2019, 2B2T had been on the same version of Minecraft for almost 2 years, Java Edition 1.12 or the World of Color update. Spending this many years in the same update meant the only way to innovate and move the PvP meta forward was with new hacks that would give advantages over other hackers. Crystal hacks evolved during this time, making crystal placement smarter, targeting a player's lower hitbox, which is what caused the most damage, allowing crystals to be placed through solid blocks more easily. The list goes on. Despite the advances in crystal combat, 32Ks were the dominant weapon in 2019. Much like crystal combat becoming automated due to hack clients, 32Ks went through a similar phase when Auto 32K was invented. This hack allowed the user to place a hopper and shulker instantly and begin swinging a 32K at rapid speeds. Seen here is 2B2T player Fax Machine using the Auto 32K module to instantly kill crystal PvPers. It was perhaps one of the most overpowered PvP hacks in the server's history. But near the end of 2019, after years of trying unsuccessfully, Housemaster finally managed to patch 32K swords once and for all. Auto 32K was useless, and crystals once again became the dominant weapon on Anarchy servers. Which brings us into the present day. We are going through a hack client renaissance, with literally dozens of clients all being used on 2B2T at the same time from different developers, and players scrambling to find the best ones available. There are so many different techniques and tricks that can be used that it would be impossible to name them all in a single video at this point. I recently had the chance to train with one of the best PvPers on the server right now, Wasabi, and it made me realize just how advanced PvP has actually become. During a fight, there are so many variables to keep track of. On average, PvPers are using more than 15 hacks at the exact same time, often toggling specific ones on and off with keybinds. Anarchy servers have taken Minecraft PvP and made it unrecognizable from what it normally is supposed to be. As the server continues to survive, what will happen to the 2B2T PvP meta? Will we see this style of PvP taken to the limit? Only time will tell. The evolution of combat on 2B2T is not so different from warfare in the real world, and it's a fascinating parallel. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Also make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on when new Minecraft content is coming out. That's it for today, everyone. Take it easy and stay alive out there, FitFam.
Fit MC. Anyone who is familiar with the history of the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft knows the stories of Pop Bob. Despite having such a silly name, he was one of the most feared players of all time. He was also one of the most misunderstood. Anytime his name is found on an artifact or at an old base, I take a cautious interest. About 1 month ago, I received a random message out of the blue from a player claiming they had discovered an old base that belonged to Pop Bob. They sent me a screenshot of what appeared to be a castle. I was skeptical at first, but upon examining the screenshot, I didn't see any modern blocks in it, and the style looked similar to some of Pop Bob's previous builds. So I asked for coordinates. But of course, this is 2B2T, so there was a catch. He agreed to give me coordinates, allow me to tour the base, and take a world download. In exchange, I would have to film him griefing the base. It's been 5 years since Pop Bob got his only kill on me. I was fishing and I wasn't prepared for combat. but that was half a decade ago. I'm not going to take part in this grief, but I'm also not going to stop it. These chunk borders we're at tell me we got to be getting close. This is some old terrain. But maybe this base tour is going to give us an insight into the mind of Pop Bob. What was he like as just a normal player, you know? Looks like there's something over this way. I think we may have found it. Oh yeah. What is this? That's floating lava just in the middle of nowhere? Alright, this is definitely suspicious already. Just a random chest room underground with a crafting bench and just floating lava. This is... Alright, this place is already giving me the creeps. I don't know, I kind of want to see what's in those chests. I can take a quick look. Let's see, okay, good, there's a staircase going right to it. Anything? Huh, some average stuff, I guess. At least it's something. But we have to be close. I think the coordinates are really close to the ones I was given, so we just gotta get lucky. Now, I think if we keep moving in this direction, we should stumble right into it. Now, this village is pretty established, so this has to be part of the base. If we keep following this pathway here, I know we're gonna run straight into it. So let's go. I'm excited. Oh, there's something up there. All right, this looks promising. All right, it's all quartz. It's a quartz build, but hey, quartz was around back in the day. So, oh, ho, ho, ho. It's real. Look at that. It's actually real. Pop Bob's castle exists. Look at that. I gotta go into free cam for that. This looks insane. Holy cow. You know what? I gotta screenshot this. This is a thumbnail. Oh my goodness. Turn off name tags. Look at that. It's a real place. I didn't think it would be real. I thought this was going to be a big scam. I thought the guy was just trying to get, you know, a rise out of me, but this place is legitimate. Let's take a look inside. Stay here, pony, all right? You're more valuable to me, well, dead than alive. Wait, look at all these signs. Oh my goodness. All right, this looks like the player list. Chronicle of Ramiel's Watch. So this is the actual name of the base. It's not Pop Bob's Castle, it's Ramiel's Watch. Who all based here? Let's see, Wobu, Spike, King Louie. Oh wow, I have not heard that name in quite some time. Oh, Loafykins, okay. Cam? For those of you that don't know, Cam is the person that founded Camtown, which was quite famous back in the day. It was one of the only bases left on the server that had a working end portal. I even used the hacked-in end portal at Camtown back in, I think, 2014. Although the base was kind of in ruins by then, there was only one portal block left. Pop Bob, of course, and Dr. Line. Let's see, Pop Bob joins the fortress. June 11th, 2013. That's the summer I started playing on 2B2T. I can't believe it, over 5 years ago. Half a decade, Pop Bob joined this fortress. Oh my goodness. What do we got over here? Hold on. Historical lava, do not renovate. You know what? I knew it. When we saw that lava back on that beach, I knew that we were on the right track, that there was a chance this place was legit, and it is, sure enough. Where do we even look first? I mean, look at this place. Oh, if we could find an artifact, there seems to be a lot of chests in this place already. If we can find a lot of artifacts to take on like a written book or something. Oh man. Although I'm not seeing anything that useful so far, but they're all old blocks. I don't see a single block past the year 2013. So let's take a look around. Oh, there's some chests over here. Bane of Arthropods 5. Wow, they went all out with that book. Secret wall gallery. Do not remove, please. Well, it's gone now. It's an interesting little formation. This place is... it's weird. This entire cast, we were dying. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Hold on. Danger, beams of light. There must have been a beacon here at one point, going all the way up this way. Yep, sure enough, but there's snow on top of the glass. Huh. I'm sure that was unexpected. West Hall is this way. Your adventure begins now. Alright, which way do we even go? Okay, so this is like a spiral staircase. We'll come back to that. Alright, this seems to be on the other side of the mountain here. Okay, just kind of lets out. Although there's random cobble there. I've noticed so far there seem to be random places where like cobble was thrown down. I can't tell if it was lava casted or if it was actually just put down by hand. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, there's something down this way. Does help, I'm falling. Does this just keep going down? I don't want to waste my time. Oh, wow! This goes all the way down to this quarry down here. I'm guessing all these chests have to be just old cobblestone and stuff. Hey, I'm not gonna bother to look. Now let's see, what do we have back over here? Now I don't want to take the spiral staircase yet because there was a hallway this way. Alright. Oh, we got some chests. Anything at all. Let's see. They have a lot of red wool, I've noticed. Like a ton of it. I don't know what they were using it for. We got some brewing stands here. And there's still fuel in them. Okay, so someone has been using this station recently. There would not be fuel in that thing if